What is going on here? Boy, RaJuR really cool here to talk about a book that I want to write, but I ain't writing a book. I just want to talk about me and my life. Now, the reason I'm doing this is not because I just need to feed my ego again, because I don't need any ego feeding, because I'm all right. I got a little ego like everybody else do, but I don't have that much of an ego. I mean, and it's not about not having money to have the ego. It's just about, trying to make yourself bigger than what you are, and I'm not doing that as well. So let me turn down this music, and I'm going to thank Yahweh, Yeshua, and the Holy Spirit for the opportunity to be able to see you guys. I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope that you indeed can become inspired by this video, and if not, maybe your children can be inspired by this video I'm about to make. And I'll say that to say, I say that to say this. I'm hoping to be working with the school district sometime next month. Waiting for my clearance to come from the the child abuse situation. You gotta go through that clearance. I've gotten all the other clearances. All the other clearances are done. Fingerprint, background check, drug, all that stuff. It's already taken care of. So the only thing I'm waiting for is the child report. So once that comes in, we good to go and we can start in the Cheltenham School District. So I think what I was just talking to my concierge down here at the building is, it's going to be probably kind of crazy, because some of the youngins that go here, that live here, because they came up here to be involved up here, I think, I may be seeing them more than once a day. So it's going to be kind of probably weird, I guess, I'm not sure, but I'm really hoping to get the situation. As I spoke about yesterday when I had my post, please like, subscribe, and share, because if you don't, I'm going to share this all over the place anyway. On all my social media channels, my 3 on Instagram, my 3 on Facebook, I will be sharing this video. But you can share it if you like it as well, alright? Hopefully you get some inspiration from this video, as well as maybe letting your children look at this video. Because I'm going way back to 1961 when I was born. And I want to talk about my life and how I got to be where I am now. To some people, there's no big deal as where I am now, but to me it is, because I'm thankful to be where I am now. There's a lot of twists and turns in my life, as I call them, forks in the road, that could have left me somewhere totally different than what I am now. I also have friends that took that fork in the road to disobedience and jail, and now they back out and they recouping themselves. In fact, the young man I grew up with, you might know him, but I'm not going to mention his name. But I will be throwing names out here, and if some of these names you remember, even though I'm not trying to tag names, I'm going to put names out here because I have to. And not in any negative way, just talking about the people I ran into throughout my journey here, where I am sitting with you right now, in my studio, hoping to be a teacher aide next month, already a licensed chauffeur, of course, musician, Grammy member, all that good stuff, and U.S. military, Navy veteran. I've done a lot, and I want to talk about it all with you guys. And bring your children. Come on, let them sit by. Because if they're just sitting here playing video games all day and wanting to be a rapper and all this stuff, think they're going to be basketball stars, they need to come see me. Come down, sit here. I'm going to get started. I'm trying to do this in some kind of chronological order, not to become a rambler, but to kind of like just lay out the facts and maybe expound on some of the events that went on in my life that you guys may go, oh wow, and you can always answer them a little. So I won't be doing any chats. In fact, I'm going to turn the chats off because I don't need any chats, but I want to do this live because I just don't hide all chat messages. So I'll be hiding all chat messages. I won't be taking any chats, anything like that. Because I don't like doing videos and upload them. I'd rather do my videos live because it's me. I ain't faking the funk. I ain't doing nothing crazy. I'm just being me. Sharing my life with you. In 1961, I was born to 2 parents who left this earth together after years and years of marriage. Okay, so I'll start with that. I wasn't from a broken home of any kind. It wasn't a perfect home, but it wasn't a broken home. I had a mother and a father throughout my lifetime, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm thankful for how they fought to stay together in troubling times, to keep me and our family together along with my sister. So I'm very, very, very happy that they did that, because it could have been a different way. Not saying it would have been worse if they had divorced or separated, because I've experienced that. But it would have been a thing that, see, I didn't have any children when I went through this either. I was guardian of other people's children and kind of taking care of them with what I had to offer, but I don't have any children to this day that I know of. Huh? What? So anyway, it's just, that's the problem with the family nowadays, and then we're gonna move on. Everybody don't have a father. Everybody don't have a father. You got a mother. Everybody don't have a father. And that was done for a reason. That's going to be the second part of my video, which is going to be the political part of my video. Alright, so in the meantime, I wanted to write a book about what I've been through. Most of what I've done and said is on my website, RaJuRmusic.com. There's RaJuRmusic.com. You can read it there, but I'd rather say it to you guys because people usually like to put a face to the voice to that when you're trying to explain to them life. And my life is pretty special. I can say that I am the only Grammy member, I'll start there. I'm the only Grammy member that's been a military veteran, right? That's been a military veteran, right? That's worked at a job for 35 years. Yep, that's worked with and for and in cooperation with major artists, music artists, and multi-instrumentalists. I can play 4 different instruments. I'm a producer, I'm an engineer, I'm on studio. I'm also a model, I'm also an actor. So, I feel I'm pretty much one of a kind. Right? I feel I'm pretty much one of a kind. But it only goes to show that where I came from is why I'm one of a kind. Because I was born as this low self-esteem, cock-eyed, not bow-legged, pigeon-toed child. That's how I came on the planet. Cock-eyed is I don't know what. I all over here whatsoever. And just imagine being teased, being cock-eyed, being teased, and walking with one of my legs was in. But I tell you what, my father took care of that. He took care of that. My father had a humble job. My father, like with me and him, he worked all his life. Pretty much, until he just couldn't work anymore. Not because he didn't want to work anymore, but because the establishment that he had a profession in was no jobs for him. Because when he finally started working, he was around 65 when he started working. And my uncle was still working, doing the same thing he was doing, but he had a gig. My uncle still had a gig. My uncle lived to be 84. My dad lived to be 87. So, they worked all their lives. So I had someone, the importance of having a father, a good father, not the perfect father, but a good father in your life is having someone to look up to. I never thought I would work 35 years in one particular place, but I was like, my dad can do it, I'm doing it. So that's what I did, all right? My dad had his own business. I'm talking about my father, I'm talking about my mother, then we're going to get to me. I want to let you know how I was brought up with my parents. So, my father's grandfather used to have workers in Ahoskie, North Carolina. I don't want to say slaves. That's exactly what they were, kinda. But we had that in our family. That my father's grandfather had people working for him. Let's put it that way. And so, and I don't brag about that. I don't know. It's just the way things were down here in North Carolina, Hosky, North Carolina. That's the way it was. You picked cotton. My dad's always been a boss. He always, he worked, he had a business. Like, I work and I have a business. I got that from him. So I had a father to look up to. Unfortunately, nowadays, children don't have that because decisions that are being made between the people that rear children. That's what it comes down to. I'm keeping it real. If you make just having children because you just got caught up in something whatsoever, and you decided not to rid yourself of that problem, then got it. But some people come out cool. Some people start out good, but they end up where they came from. Because sometimes that's how it happens. They go through some stuff, they accelerate themselves, and later on they go right back to where they came from. And some of them don't. So you never know. You never know. That's how it is. I'm just thankful that I have a mother and father. So aside from my father being there, my father never graduated nothing. My father got the 6th grade and that was it. His father said, get out here with these other people that we own and get out here and pick this cotton. And that's what he did. That's the story he told me. I ain't making it up. I don't know. I don't want to know. All I know is he said my pop had me out in the field picking cotton. his grandfather, with the rest of them. So he didn't finish school. The smartest thing my dad did was marry my mother, who was the most intelligent woman in my life, and that's where I get my intelligence from. So I get my work ethic from my father, and I get my intelligence from my mother. My mother was from Rennes, Georgia. My mother she passed away in 2011. She passed away from complications from Alzheimer's and dementia, because she was going through a lot of things in her life as well. You know, and that's what we do. All of us go through things. It's just the way it goes, and sometimes that's what you end up with in the long run. So that's just the way life is, you know. But she's still here with me all day, in my bedroom, everywhere. She's my angel. She's guarding me. She keeps me out of trouble. Even when I'm in trouble, she gets me out of trouble. She prays for me every day to Yahweh, to Yeshua, the Holy Spirit. So I feel truly, truly in her hands through the Almighty. Okay, that's where I feel, how my life is going. So no matter what happens, I feel that way. My mother was very intelligent. She could have. My aunt tells me that, you know, your mother was smart. Your mother was cum galate. What's that? Cum galate? I don't know what that is. I know what cum galate means, whatever that is. That means my mom was smart as I don't know what. But my dad snatched her up. And she didn't get a chance to pursue her college career. As my aunt keeps telling me, they met. I think my mom lived up here, my dad in Hosky. He came up, but somebody else didn't name back, and that was it. Bada me, bada boom. He was married ever since. So, I get this from my mother, I get this from my father. You should be so lucky as to make sure every time you decide that you want to bring a child into this earth, that you make sure you're stable. I mean, it's in the Bible that you claim to read, and I'm trying to keep it real for those who claim to read. I'm not talking about those who don't really care about the Bible, just live your life as you do it. I'm talking to people, you claim you read it, then you gotta stick to it. I was happy that my mother was also a believer. Dad didn't believe in nothing, except hard work and dedication like Mayweather. That's my pop. Go to work every day, take care of his family, took us off at 18th and Susquehanna Avenue. In 1966, we moved into Northwest Philly, 24th and Allegheny, Fox Street, Justin Street. Moved right there and was there. Nice little small crib, had a bar down in the basement, made his money. Doing what? My dad was actually a presser and a alterator. So, that's where my clothes thing comes from. My dad's always dressed. My dad went to work every day to his job, pressing clothes and working in the cleaner. That's why I don't have no problem ironing my clothes. I iron all my clothes myself. Some stuff I have to take to the cleaners, but for the most part, I wash and clean all my clothes. I got a load in the dryer wash right now. I learned that from my father. He taught me how to iron, and of course I learned more when I had to go to the Navy in boot camp. Let's move back. Bring it back in, Rod. Don't start flip-flapping around outside the pocket. So, my dad taught me things, but my mother taught me how to be smart. I always wanted to study. Another thing my dad did, had no education, 6th grade. He bought an encyclopedia set. Now, we're talking about 1966, is when we moved to Northwest Philadelphia, which again is Allegheny Avenue, around there. It's called a nice town, but it's not really nice town. It's Northwest, it's Allegheny West. And that's where we was at. And another thing he did, he wanted his son to be smart. Because he knew he didn't have that. It would be good if men nowadays would say, I want my son to be smarter than me. But they don't. I mean, if you have a father, you hope you have a father say, look, now I know a couple of brothers who have intelligent kids. They raised them well. And they weren't the smartest wheel on the cart either, but they raised their children to try to be smarter and be entrepreneurs. I know a couple of brothers who've done that well. So, you know, or whether it's sons or daughters, whatever. They did that, and then these sons aren't out there creating havoc and acting a fool and just getting pregnant and doing all kinds of twerking and all this stuff. They trying to learn, they trying to establish a career because they have somebody to look at to establish that career. You will hope they would. Now, if you have some rebellious kids, don't do that. The reason I'm making this video is for children because I'm supposed to be working with the school system. And I want them to refer to this video with their mother to sit and see when they talk about Mr. RaJuR in school, oh, Mr. RaJuR, they're going to be able to just refer to this video. And that's why I'm doing this video. Not for me, but for the children. Like the children, I try to get their mothers or fathers to bring them back here so I can teach them how to, produce or whatsoever. They never send me anything. I had the crew over here yesterday though. My man sent his son over here and his friend, and theirs over here yesterday. You can check that video out. And they were learning. But they in their 20s. I'm trying to catch children and when they ready to come up like I did. I started playing guitar, and I said when I was 12 years old. I'm not trying to catch you when you're 20. I'm trying to catch you when you're 12, like I was 12. Bring them over here, send them over here. I do it for free. I teach them how to do stuff for free. Ain't even about the money. I teach them how to all that stuff for free. Teach them how to play a guitar, a bass, drums, whatever you want me to do, keyboards. I teach them for free. And I still won't get any woman who I share this video with on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, flippity flat. They'll send anybody over here. Won't even ask me. You know why? Because he can't. It's within them that they can't do it. They can't do it. And it's just a shame that I have a service to offer for free to help your child do anything but trying to be this and be that, which is a rapper or a basketball player or a thug, whatever. And try to get them to really try to do some things. And a dancer. That's another thing. Everybody want to be a dancer now. I'm here to help. Like I'm going to be hoping to help these children in the school district, okay? So, let's continue on. Again, cockeyed RaJuR, never going back. Explain moms to you, very smart, articulate, bada bing, bada boom, could have went to college, could have been super, she could have been down there running Clark and all them down there in ATL. But she married my dad. And they had me planned. Not by accident. They had me because they planned to have me. And my sister. We were planned. Right? No, oh snap. That happened? Oh snap. No, we ain't. We were, my family, my mother and father weren't built like that. Especially my father would never have done anything like that. You know what I mean? Because he had a mother and a father, and a grandmother and a grandfather. One thing, I never knew my grandmother and grandfather on his side. I never even knew my grandmother and grandfather. But, and on my mom's side, I don't even know my grandfather. My great-great-great-grandfather on my mom's side was Caucasian. I can say that, so I'm somewhat mixed race a little bit. That's the way it is. And actually, his wife was Indian, so I have Indian in me, because my Caucasian great-great-granddad had an Indian wife. And I found that out because a cousin of my aunt, I went over her house, which was right around the corner from me. She showed me the pictures of my Caucasian great-great-great-granddaddy and his Indian wife. So I'm a little bit of everything. I ain't gonna mention no names, some other people that's doing things right now. But anyway, that's me. I'm a little bit of everything. So, cockeyed, cross-eyed, thick glass wearing, pigeon-toed boy had problems. Being teased in school all the time. I think when we was living down there, I think I went one year, I went to the school down there on 18th, because my dad had a store on 18th of Susquehanna. I was born actually on Grass Street. I was born on 1821 Grass Street. So if y'all look up 1821 Grass Street in Philly, that's where I was born. It was like a little apartment joint. You walk down. I remember I broke my arm jumping down the steps one day and broke my arm. But anyway, it was a little apartment joint. I remember going up the steps and then you go up the side, and I think our apartment was on the first floor. That's where we started out at. You know what I mean? That's where we first started at. 1821. No, I'm sorry. No. It was 18. I think my dad's store that he ended up opening up, Homeboy Barbecue Pit. Because my dad had a store on Susquehanna Avenue. We was born on Grass Street, and he bought this store. He bought this place from this guy, from an Italian guy. He turned it into a barbecue place. Now, a lot of you might live down there and be my age. I remember Prez Barbecue up there on the other side. I think it was North Street or wherever they were. He was in competition with Prez Barbecue. So my dad was a businessman with a cockeyed son and a pigeon toe and nappy head. Right? So, that is where I came from. So, no, I was not a privileged child. I was privileged in being in the presence of a hard-working father who knew how to do business, like his son now, and a smart and faithful mother, not a religious mother. I didn't have a religious mother. Even though she used Jesus and all that, she didn't know any better. She didn't know the true name of Yeshua. You know what I mean? She didn't know the true name of Heavenly Father Yahweh. Like people try to front like they know God or so, they don't even know the true name. You don't know the true name. Jesus was not like you calling him Kevin. If his name is not Kevin, call him by his real name. It ain't Jesus. That's some more Roman stuff. Just to educate you in that, just in case you didn't know that I knew that, but I'm trying to help you out. So now you can start working around the people who are truly faithful. You can talk to truly faithful people, not the people who try to be faithful. They're saying Jesus and God all day. Don't mess with them. Find somebody who know what the Hebrew Bible says. That's what the Bible begins at. New Testament is something totally different, but it don't matter. Their origins is there. My mother wasn't into the origins. She's into what she was fed. The Caucasian, hippie Jesus, and whatever, and crosses and all that stuff. That's religion. I'm not religion. I'm faithful. I'm not religious. I know the name of the true one and only Most High and His Son and Holy Spirit. I know the name, Hamashiach. I know the names. All right? Back to where I was at. So, now, as I came up, I went through problems. Like I said, my mother and father, relationship wasn't the greatest, and it wasn't because of my mother. That's what I say. Pop was a whippersnapper. Pop, he had a life. He did his life. But one thing you can never take from my father, even though he might have drank and whatever, he went to work every day. So we call that a functional drinker. He went to work every day. He didn't miss work. 4 o'clock in the morning. He's on the freaking train, riding to Hatboro for 35 years. He worked at a cleaners out in Hatboro. It's not there anymore. Called Bucksmouth Cleaners. So if anybody my age who had a dad, my dad's age, you probably know about Bucksmouth Cleaners in Hatboro. And that's where he worked at all his life. For almost 25, 30 years. That's where he worked. And my uncle worked out there too, but then when they closed down, my uncle went to another spot. My dad just chilled. So, we worked all his life. So, it's a cockeyed pigeon-toed had issues. How could be a little physical. Time to time, be a little physical. But it wasn't that he just walk in, he, been drinking or something to start going off. Yeah, even though it's something like he walking, but for the most part, I can't say I was abused. Everything I did, I owned it. But because I was felt sometime within the family that I wasn't, I ain't saying I wasn't cared for. He cared for it because he made sure we had something to eat. He made sure I had a place. Made sure our clothes was clean. He worked in the cleaners. That means clothes are always clean, always pressed. He used to take our clothes on Friday, bring them back home on Monday, pressed. Ready to go, always clean. For the time I was living. I can tell you the story. One time my dad took me to, again, way back, Iron Erie. We used to have this big carnival every year at Iron Erie. And he got a picture of me, I think I was maybe 6, 7 years old. Maybe a little bit older. I don't know, 6, 7, 8, something like that. And he took a picture of me. And when I got older and I found the picture, he's like, yeah, I took you to the carnival in a suit. In a suit that looked like my Sterling suit right now. My limousine suit. Had me dressed up. I was in a suit. Took a picture of me on the Ferris wheel. In a suit. Don't know, my dad loved me. He loved my cockeyed pigeon-toe behind, but he got my leg corrected. Crack! I don't know what they did. They must have cracked it. And now instead of me walking like this, now I walk like the model that I am. It is what it is. So he did that for me. And yes, I was cockeyed, and so he had to give me some corrective glasses that took my cockeyed out. And the good thing about it was, at that time we lived on Grass Street, but his business was right around the corner on Susquehanna Avenue. That's 1821 Susquehanna Avenue. Right there, there's houses there now. But 1821 Susquehanna Avenue, back in the 1960s up to 1974, was my father's barbecue place. He had the big pit. My pop had a pit. Just throw the meat up on a pit. It was like that. A big giant, it was just a big pit. And that's how he did his. Had corn on the cob, pig feet, french fries. He used to have to go down to Ridge Avenue to pick up the meats on Saturday morning. My mom go down there. Come on, ride with me to go pick up the meats. We go down there, pick up all the ribs and all this stuff, bring it back to the barbecue stove, homeboy's barbecue pit. Bam. That's how I was raised. So I had guidance. And I would like to be guidance to the fatherless children that I may run to during the school system situation. I just think that's very important. I just don't know how important it is to really grab a hold of something that's real. Now, again, he wasn't the richest person in the world, but he was a worker. So he had to be rich. To me, I didn't care about rich. I cared about trying to get uncockeyed and unpigeon-toed. I got tired of being teased, man. Got teased by my cousins. I got stuck up on the gate one time. We was climbing up on this gate, and I got stuck on it. It was like this church. And we climb over the gate. We used to do. My cousins don't have me doing a lot of stuff, man. I'd Fairmount Park, climbing up them doggone hills. We out there doing cookouts. We go down the hill, all the way down the hill. We got climb up on the hill, and I'm sliding off like I'm ready to fall down on East River Drive. It was crazy back in the day. But hey, I ain't have no brothers, so they were my brothers. My cousins were my brothers. All right, so now, once we got that all configured and whatsoever, I was still growing up, and on the weekends, I used to stay at my cousins on 25th in Cambria. And I would stay with them. They weren't actually on Cambria, they was actually on 25th Street, between Cambria and Somerset. And I would stay with them on the weekends, because I didn't always want to go to the barbecue place. So my aunt, who was my mother's brother's wife, they had a crib on Cambria, actually on 25th Street. And I used to stay over there on the weekends. So that's how they became like my brothers, because I didn't have brothers, I just had sisters. You know what I mean? So, they roughed me up and blah, 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 had me doing stuff, had to fight a couple times. Good friend of mine, he's still working for SEPTA after 40-something years, named Greg Sanford. We grew up together. Me and Greg grew up together. We knew each other since we were like 8 years old. And I retired, and he's still in SEPTA, 45 years. That's a long time, bro. You need to come on out that joint, man. You know what I mean? But he's a very successful brother. Got some beautiful children, beautiful wife. I'm happy for him. I saw him like last year sometime. My man was doing a DJ situation. He showed up. So that's who I grew up with. I grew up with Greg and my cousins and blah, bing. And then when I got back home, now I'm back to regular old me. And then my sister came 4 years later. I'm 4 years older than my sister. And I ain't really like my sister. I like my sister, man, because I was so used to being spoiled for the first 4 years that my sister came into my life, man. I was mad. Fight my sister. I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't good to my sister, yo. I'm keeping it real with you. I was just a freaking arrogant, wanted all the attention type guy. It is what it is. And that's how I was, man. I wanted to be the only child. Maybe that's why I don't have any children now. I never aspired to have children. I just never did. And I'm glad I wasn't a part of the people. I'm glad my mom and them didn't decide to aid me. I'm glad she decided to keep me. You know what I mean? Regardless of what situation it is, they decided to have me. So, yeah, it's bada bing, bada boom. You know what I mean? So I grew up. It wasn't all hunky-dory, but I learned a lot. I was a smart, intelligent guy. You don't have physical mishaps with the eye and all this stuff. How you do? You know what I mean? Thank Yahweh, Yeshua, and the Holy Spirit. That got my mother to stay focused. Like I said, my dad wasn't in a religion. He wasn't in nothing. His dad, not like going to church. My dad like go to football game. And sometimes he'd go to church, my mom would give him to go, and he'd be sitting there like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out. Pop wanted to see the football game. But he knew he had a wife. See, the smartest thing my father also did was marry someone who had faith. A lot of people ain't marrying someone who got faith. Women out here marrying dudes who got money. They think that's gonna get them by. And then they all of a sudden end up with 4 or 5 uncles around their children. And that's what happens. My father was a very smart father. He wasn't smart school-wise. He didn't go no more than 6th grade, but he was smart enough to make the right decisions for his family. And that started with his lovely wife, my mother, my angel. That's what it started out with. All right? So now, let's continue on. Now, we're moving past those days, and now we moved on to, I used to have problems in school, because sometimes, things happen at home, and I don't need to get too much into those, but a lot of things happen at home that, triggered me to do things that I'm not embarrassed to talk about now. I used to pee in the bed like a freaking scoundrel. I could pee up a bed. And we had bunk beds, right? So it was a real small crib, but it was a cool crib, but it was small. It was kind of weird. And where it was set up, it was just a weird crib. Because when it got cold, we had a front room and nobody slept in the front room. My mom and dad slept in the middle room. Me and my sister slept in this little teeny-weeny room with a bunk bed. And then the bathroom was right next to the bunk bed. It was like a master bunk bed room. Because you can just get down out of bed and go right to the bathroom. Man, I could pee the bed up like a mother. I light that joint up. Man, I pee in that bed so much, man. Shoot, they still looking for that mattress. It might be famous then you find that mattress. Got some RaJuR pee on it. Man, I used to pee, man, because I was going through some things, man. Like I said, my life. Home life wasn't hunky-dory all the time. And again, I ain't bring my pop down, not even close. My pop get all accolades. He get all love. But most of it because my pop sometimes got a little, and it made me nervous. And it made me to the point that, I tried to take attention off what he was putting attention to. And that way it'll distract him from doing stuff I didn't really want him to do. I'll say it that way. I'm not going to say anything else. But if you can read between the lines, you know what I'm saying. So I used to do that, So I peed in the bed a lot. And I used to pee on myself in school, elementary school. Because I can get up and go to, but sometimes I was just so smart in elementary school. I was a really smart child. I was really smart. A's all day. A's all day. And I ain't had to get A's because I thought my dad was going to whip my behind. I got A's because I just like learning. I like being number one. I like being first. I like being the smartest. I like being the teacher's pet. I like being the one that every time you got to answer, nobody else can answer. I just, all right, I'll tell you what it is. I like that. I like that about me. And I like that my mom encouraged that with me, and my dad encouraged me by getting encyclopedias. But I still had a pissy problem. I had to pee on myself. And, I just had them kind of physical attributes that I did that, and it kept people away from me. I used to be bullied. You can be bullied. You can't nowhere be bullied nowadays. I used to be bullied. I'm gonna name this guy. This guy named Bruce Brown. And we were going to Whittier. Now, if anybody know about Whittier on 27th in Clearfield, that's the school I went to, Whittier. And I used to go to school, and I'm throwing out names, man. Catching with these people because all these guys who used to bully me, I'm gonna kick their butt now. If I ever find you, dog. Don't let me find you, Bruce Brown. Took my money, got done just about every day till I had to hire security. That's what I did. I hired security, man. Cause I wasn't no fighter, man. I was a little PUSSY, I guess. I didn't want to fight, man. I was a smart dude, man. I ain't want to get, man, leave me alone, dog. Keep bullying me, man. Dude, Bruce Brown and his boys. James Carter, where James Carter at? James Carter used to be halfway on the side. He'd be with Bruce when he bullying me, but then sometimes when Bruce wasn't around, then he didn't want to be around me. That was James Carter. That dude named Matthew White ended up being my security guard. His name was Matthew White. He lived on Taylor Street. Him and his brother Rod. And they ended up being my security guards. Because what I would do is, I would, in exchange for me helping with their homework and stuff like that, they would protect me from Bruce Brown. So that way, I got tired of giving Bruce Brown my loot, man. I used to steal money from my pop. My pop had probably, if I had my pop nickel quarters collection right now, I'd be rich. But he used to store them up in this can in a sock. And I'd go up there and I might take like 2 quarters out. Man, I was a thief, man. I'd steal from my mom. I was a little freaking thief firebug back in the day. And I would take a couple quarters out. And what I was doing was I was taking the money out. That's why he started taking my money. Because I used to come to school with 50 cents every day. Aside from my mom was giving me like 35 cents. So you go to recess, the Whittier's right there, and the store's right across the street. You go over there and get you something for recess. Lunch, whatever it was. We had lunches back then. I used to steal the money, and I would take that 50 cents, and I would give it to Colette. Her name was Colette Aiken. And I would give the money to Bruce Brown's. I would give it to Colette. Now, he ended up going with Colette Aiken. And then, but I was still giving him money, and he found out I was giving him money, and that's when he started catching me in the morning before I got to school. He used to take my money, right? And that's how that happened. That's how that bullying thing happened. So between me peeing in the bed, dude bullying me, taking my money, peeing on myself in classroom sometimes, because I'd be scared to raise my hand, man. I'd be like, I know I gotta pee. I'd be sitting there like, and then by the time I raised my hand, it was like, peeing on my freaking self. Gotta get up and stand in line, pissy pants. Man, hey, man, I'm telling y'all the truth. I'm not saying this to embarrass myself because I'm nowhere near embarrassed. But I'm more proud that I can share this with you and not be embarrassed because children go through these things, man. Children going through a lot these days. Can you imagine if in 1966 we had to go through half of what's going on right now? Man, if I had to get shots and all kinds of craziness and these crazy people acting a fool and bada bada bing and, changing agendas in school right now and blah, blah, blah. Man, I don't know what I would have been. I'm so happy that I didn't have to experience as a child what these poor children experiencing right now. And they're not getting any help from their parents. Their parents just going right along with it. Well, that's what they want us to do. I guess we got to do it. Yeah, just putting the kids out, man, it's crazy. I'm just glad I was not born. I'm just glad what's going on now was not back in 1960, from 61 to 68. I'm just so happy. I am so thankful. I am so thankful. But I am not so thankful for the children that got to go through this now and don't have parents enough to try to navigate through all that crap to keep them out of harm's way. That's why we got freaking, you go to school and can change your gender in the middle of second period lunchtime. You don't want a dingling no more? Hey, who brought a truck out the other day talking about giving out abortions and sex changes and snipping off balls? But I'm gonna stay away from that. So, and let the children hear. If I say balls, let them hear balls. They know what balls are. These kids kill that. I looked at a video the other day, and I'm gonna get back on track. That this woman was in the store. I'm not gonna cuss and say what the child did, but she was in the store and she was complaining with somebody. She was complaining with somebody in the line behind her. She was a black Karen. Well, she was complaining with the people behind the counter. She was ordering food. But I think it was somebody behind, because I remember the child turned around and said, "Shut the F up." This child could have been no more than 3, 4 years old. The child was standing in line with his mom. She got into a beef with somebody. She turned around, and then that little boy turned around and said, "Shut the F up," in front of his mother. What does that say? That's why I'm here doing this video, to help these poor children who, even if they have a mother, don't have a parent. It's such a shame. It is sad, make me want to cry sometimes. When I saw that little boy turn around and said, "Shut the F up" to that adult, that was crazy. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. And that parent didn't admonish that child or nothing. She didn't slap him upside his head. She didn't do nothing. If I would have did that, my dad would be, I would be dead. Dead. My mom wouldn't have killed me. She'd just turned me over to my dad and let him kill me. What kind of hot mess is that? So I'm telling you, children, I'm here for you. I'm going to let you see this video once I start working in the district, heaven willing. You're going to see this video. I'm going to make sure you check it out. I'm going to give it to your mom. Let your mom check out this video. Because you are more than what your conditions give you. You know, there's people who, Mayweather, I just looked at the Mayweather story and what he came up with. You know, and he used to be poor, broke, blah, blah, blah. It don't matter whether he became a zillionaire or whether he just survived life and just became just a regular worker, doing the work and stuff. It don't matter. He came out of it. He ended up in jail. I could end up in jail. Well, I'm fortunate where I could end up, but my mom prayed for me. But I could end up in jail too. Who knows? Everybody's just one way away from doing something dumb that you can end up in jail. It just happens. Right now, I can do a doggone Facebook post and they want to lock me up because I might be talking about somebody that they like. It's crazy. Times are crazy right now. This video for times for now. For adults to wake up and stop being manipulated and psyoped by these people who don't care about you and don't care about your children. They just want to control you. Stop letting these people control you. Children, don't let nobody control you. If you're doing the right thing, do not let anybody control you. I want to say if your mother and father, I don't want to say that, but I'm just going to say, if you know your mama doing wrong and she cussing, and you know your mama ain't supposed to be using bad words like that, then don't follow her. But you can't tell your mama to shut the F up either, but you can just ignore that. Don't do it. Don't be the product of someone who's doing something negative. Don't do it. I mean, my dad wasn't necessarily doing negative, but he was doing some stuff that affected me physically. Obviously, I'm peeing in the bed and all kinds of craziness. But, you know, I'm saying, it is what it is. Well, I shouldn't have even gone through that, but that was my defense. You know, so, but again, I'm not, for the sake of the children, I have no problem telling this story. Not one problem. One more time, just in case you got any bedwetters out there, don't be ashamed of yourself. It's going to be okay. I don't pee in the bed now unless I just get lazy. I don't feel like getting up and I put on a diaper the night before I go to bed. No, I'm just kidding. But look, don't be afraid. Express yourself. Do that in a polite way. Don't express yourself by using profanity and all that stuff. That makes you look not so hot. You want to be hot. You want to be like RaJuR. You want to have your studio. You want to do that. If not, do something else. But you don't want to be negative to your mother and your parents and your father and your grandfathers and anybody else in your family. You don't want to do that. You want to show them that you're above that. And then maybe you'll be the leader of your family one day. You can take all that profanity and whatsoever you might be hearing from your mother and father and on social media and whatsoever, and you just say, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be those people. I don't want to be those people. You want to be you. Don't be those people who doing negative stuff. Don't do that. Be you. And you know you born of Yeshua, Yahweh, and the Holy Spirit. Even though you might not be religious or whatever, that's where you came from. Your spirit came from there. We ain't talking about the body. The body is this thing we got to deal with while we're here. We talking about the spirit. That came from above, not below. They came from above. If anybody doing below stuff, don't mess with the below people. They up there. And you're not going to be the greatest of the up there people, but you're trying. Just keep trying. Keep trying. Do not give up. I didn't give up. I ain't going to let nobody else give up. All right? From being cockeyed to having walking like this to having nappy head, I hated the... Yo. Don't let none of that stop. Don't let none of that stop. Show that you get through all that adversity. Get through all of it. And become successful in your life. All right? Now, let's continue, RaJuR. Let's get out those years. And now let's move towards the high school years. Or the middle school years. I went to middle school. So at the age I left Whittier, which is elementary school, they had started the middle school system. I went to Rhodes Middle School. So people might know Rhodes Middle School. That's at 29th in Clearfield. And they had just built it. So it was the first year. Hold on, y'all. All right. It was the first year of that school. So it was like, yo, you know, instead of you continuing in Whittier, which would have took you up to the 8th grade, they put their middle school there. So, bam, went to middle school. With the Rhodes Elementary. Rhodes Middle School. And E.W. Rhodes, for those who went to E.W. Rhodes. You know. So I went to Rhodes, and I just excelled even more there. When I was in elementary school, I was the smartest boy in the house. Me and this young lady by the name of Andrea Providence. We were the bomb. Had the best handwriting, knew all the answers. Me and Andrea, it was just me and Andrea. She had the woman's side, I had the dude's side. And that's why dudes started hating and bullying on me because I was just so smart. Like they try to bully me now for what I do and what I've accomplished. But you can't bully me. It ain't gonna work. You can say what you want, you can try to ignore me, but I cannot be ignored. Because I'm here. You can't ignore me. As long as I'm here, you can't ignore me. You can't get past all this. You can't get past 35 years of SEPTA. You can't get past me serving in the military. You can't get past me being a Grammy member. You can't get past me being a multi-instrumentalist. You can't get past me being a model. You can't get past any of that because I'm still right here. You can't get past that. So since you can't get past that, why don't you just try to I ain't trying to get you to be, biting. Just give me my props and call it a day. I ain't asking for it every day. I even talk about it. I just turn on the video and let you see what I do. Or I sing you to my 10 albums that I made. I just do that. But I'm not here for you. I'm here for your children. To encourage your children. Don't let your parents bring you down, your family bring you down. If you got a mission that you want to be the smartest boy in the house, be the smartest boy in the house. Don't care about the bullies who don't want to be smart. Let them do their thing. You might have to fight. They might bully you. Might beat you up a couple times, whatever it is. But still, stay focused. Because that bullying, and that probably getting socked a couple of times, whatever, got me right here, right now. A successful human being. In anything I want to do. Anything I want to do, I can do. I'm retired and still getting certificates and all this stuff. I can do anything I want to do. Alright? Because I was raised with low self-esteem, but I took that low self-esteem and decided, let's just take it, we're getting out of that. We don't want to be there. So if you're a child and you feel though you have low self-esteem and nobody like you and nobody paying attention to you, don't worry about it, just keep on grinding. Keep on grinding until you get to where you want to get. You get to where you want to get. So 5th grade, I go to E. Washington Rhodes Middle School. And again, I'm the smartest thing in the house. Andrea followed me there, so we both there. And we doing our thing. I'll fast track through that because what had happened was, when I got in the 8th grade, I didn't even do anything in 8th grade at Rhodes. I was a tutor in 8th grade. In other words, I really could have went to high school after the 7th grade, but at that time, they ain't had that kind of system. Like they had a charter school system. I could have transitioned to the charter school and then went to high school, or I could have stayed in charter school. But I didn't want to do that. I was used to being down in the hood. I didn't want to be in no charter school. My dad, you don't want to go to charter school? I think it was Germantown Friends or something like that. I ain't trying to go all the way up there, man. I don't know nobody up there. We had different ethnicities up there. I ain't know any, all I knew was black folk. I ain't no Caucasian folk like that, besides doctors and whatever. I ain't no Caucasian folk. I ain't know how we act around a lot of Caucasian folk. So I didn't want to go. No, I don't want to go there. Let me go to Rhodes for my last year, 8th grade. And in my last year, 8th grade, like I said, basically I didn't do anything. I was on TV. I got my first TV experience in 8th grade. So instead of me going to home, I used to go to, well, I go to home school. I think we had home class, whatever it was at the time. I'm not sure. But instead of me going to home class, I go into the studios that we had at Washington Rose and do the news. I would announce the news in the morning. Me, and it wasn't Andrew, it was me and another female. So we was doing newscast. I was doing newscast in 8th grade. 13 years old, because I had already conquered freaking 8th grade. I did 8th grade, 7th grade. So that comes from cockeyed, leg, getting bullied in elementary school, getting my money taken, and it just made me more and more. Just made me just want to do more. I'm just gonna keep on going. And I want you children to do the same thing, no matter who bullies you. Because you can't be bullied now anyway, because then people go to jail. You know, and that's just the way it is. I'm keeping it real. But you bullied by anybody, somebody threaten you, you do what you need to do to let your parents know or whatever, and you make sure you're happy to that. But don't let that bullying bring you down to being a bully yourself. No, bypass that bully. Bypass that bully, and you keep on going where you got to go. You be where you got to be. You keep going. Never give up. Children, never give up. If you got a dream, go for it. This is not even my dream. I never thought I'd be a music player. I thought I'd be a doctor and a lawyer. My dad wanted me to be a doctor and a lawyer. I could have been a doctor and a lawyer. I'm gonna tell you about that story, and then we're gonna get into how my career was shaped by that. So, what had happened was, 8th grade, you can either go to I think I could have went to Friends Select, Central, and something else. Now my homies, at that time we was playing guitar and all that stuff then. So I think when we was like 11, 12 years old, I think we all asked our parents, you can look at my website about how I got into that, but we all asked our parents to buy us instruments. So Terrence, mom bought him a bass. I don't know what she bought his brother, Keithy. Maybe she might have bought Keithy drums. Joe got a guitar. Bill got drums. Tony, I think, got drums and a guitar. His brother Wub didn't want to play any instruments, so he didn't get an instrument. But on that one block, on Justin Street, 31st block of Justin Street, everybody wanted to be a musician that year. So everybody got a guitar. My dad was the last one to get a guitar. My dad didn't want to buy me a guitar. Because he wanted me to be a freaking doctor. He didn't want me to be in the music. No. Anybody no guitar. Wouldn't buy me a guitar. Then when he found out that everybody's mom bought their boys instruments, he had to crack down and buy me a guitar from 22nd Street. He bought me a Tyson from the 5 and 10 on 22nd Street. 22nd in Cambria or Somerset. The 22nd in Cambria. It was across the street from whatever that department store was. It was like a pawn shop, whatever, 5 and dime. He bought me a Tyson guitar out of there, probably like $50 guitar or something like that. Maybe $25, I don't know how much it was. That's how I got my guitar. So then what had happened was, when I went to Central, I wasn't going to school. I wasn't going, man. Because again, I found myself in that same situation. I was around Caucasian folk, Europeans, and, everybody. Central was just that school. Central still, well, it's different now, not because they had girls up in there or women, but it's just a different school now. But back then, you went to Central, it was like, yo. You went to Central, you know you was going places. You're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, and not an Indian chief or a musician. Even though I wanted to be a musician when I got there, but I didn't know how to read music, so I couldn't be part of the marching band or anything. I wanted to play guitar. There were no guitar players in marching bands. So, I play guitar. That was it. So I found myself, I never went to school. Aside from my dad whipping my behind, because I'm hooky in school. I'm hooky in school like a pro. I actually started hooky in school, though, when I was in like 5th grade. Me and my man, Tony. Tony's a very successful entertainment lounge owner now. Tony Davis, you know Tony. His brother, Wub, he's in the military. I think he's still in the military. He's in Virginia military. These guys I grew up with. Still successful, right? I don't know what Bill's doing now. Billy, I don't know what Bill's doing. I haven't talked to Rents or Keithy, But a lot of people we grew up with, Greg Giddings, they had instruments. Nate Fulton, y'all look up Xavier Fulton, grew up with him. A lot of groups we grew up with. A lot of us became musicians. John Thompson, we all became musicians. So they was being musicians. I didn't want to know. I don't want to go to Central. I was just hooking in school, man. Pop pushed me under punishment for like 8 months or whatever. I still wasn't going to school, man. Get my butt whipped. I wasn't going to school. So they said, all right, you don't go to school, we're going to kick you out. So my pop was like, we going up here and straighten this out. One time I told them they was having report card night. They weren't having no report card night. I was lying. We went up there on a Tuesday night. Wasn't nobody there. He was like, I thought you said that was whip my butt when I got back home because he found out I was lying. So I did not want to be a doctor or a lawyer. And this day, I'm glad I wasn't a doctor and a lawyer. All this craziness going on. I'm glad I wasn't a doctor and a lawyer. So probably halfway through the year, he realized I wasn't going to school. But then I became a part of this band with my man Lonnie Wills, Jerry Stratton, Ron Durant, and they were going to the school called FLC. So I had met them in Gillespie, because when they kicked me out of Central, what don't they sending me, like it was half the year, so they couldn't send me to Grass. Because that would have been a waste of time. I did Grass in my dreams. So I ain't going no Grass. They sent me to Gillespie, and all I did was just walk the halls every day, which I wasn't supposed to. I was supposed to sit in the class and just sit there like, because they had nothing to teach me. I did Gillespie in 7th grade probably, right? I'm just a smart dude. So it is what it is. You can be smart too, children. Never try to be just as smart as your class intends you to be. Be smarter. Be smarter. If you don't know the answer to something, today we ain't had the technology that you can just AI, Google, speaking to a phone, Chat GPT. We ain't had that. You had to work back in the day to get where you had to get. Now it's so easy for you now that you can learn about the world and be the smartest homie in the crib, the smartest female in the crib. You can be the smart, easily be the smartest now. And it don't take a lot of work for you to be the smartest. I even had them tools. I had to come up through the grind to get into Central. But again, Central wasn't enough for me. I wanted to play music. FLC was this kind of intermediate, weird school that grown-ups went there at night to get their GEDs. During the day, you had regular school, but it was like a talent school. Mel Williams, what's her name? Flo? Flo was there. She was the drama, had the drama situation. Mel had the music. So I went there because they didn't have a guitar player. It was just Lonnie, Kenny McIntosh was on drums. That boy was so, man. Kenny, Lonnie, Kenny, and Lonnie, Kenny. Who's playing bass? And Ron. Lonnie, Kenny, and Ron. Bass, keyboards, and drums. And they was bad. So I was playing with them through a friend of mine. I started playing with this band with John Winder and Wendell. And we had this band on 16th and Allegheny that I was playing with. But I don't know how I ran into Lonnie and them. Ended up playing with Lonnie and them. After I left that band, I played with Lonnie and them. And then they ended up telling me about Franklin Learning Center. So I told my mom, I want to go to Franklin Learning Center. My dad was like, no, you ain't going to Franklin Learning Center. I'm like, well, I'm out of Central. Where else am I going to go? I mean, they kicked me out that joint. It's a wrap. So what? I'm going to Grass. I got to get out of Gillespie next year. I can't stay in Gillespie for another year. Gillespie 9th grade. So I got to get out of Gillespie. So where am I going to go? Gillespie's 8th grade. So I had to go somewhere. So finally, he just gave in. I signed the paper. My mom signed the papers. I ended up in Franklin Learning Center. My dad didn't like me for the next 5 years. Oh, man, but he still loved me. He still made sure my clothes was clean and whatsoever. And after a while, he gave in. He just realized that, okay. My dad actually wanted me to be a football player. He actually wanted to be in sports because he never got to be in sports. Now, I remember, like I said, my dad came up. He never got past 6th grade. He worked in the fields for my dad, picking cotton to my granddad and stuff like that. I never met my granddad. I never met my great-granddad. But that's what he did. So he didn't know anything. My pop didn't know anything from anything. He just wanted his son to be successful. That's all he wanted. But I couldn't be, I didn't want to play football. I mean, I play sports. I can shoot. I play sports. That's all we did every day. If we wasn't playing music, we was hopscotch. We was physical. Roller skating, riding bikes on the East River Drive, going around the drive on Sundays, coming back up, fixing bikes. Like I said, roller skating, challenging different streets, challenging Taney, challenge Taney to a skating battle, whatever. Man, dude, I'm totally physical. I got a sport, but I wasn't trying to be on no team. I wasn't trying to be on no basketball team. Now, I was on the basketball team when I got to Franklin Learning Center, because you had Franklin, which is a real school, and then Franklin Learning Center, I was a musician. I was the only guy in the band that could play ball. The rest of them, they wasn't ball players. So I joined the intermediate squad. They call it intramural squad whatsoever. So we didn't play like grass with anybody. We played within ourselves, within the school. And that jumper was cream, baby. That for this side right here, for the left hand side, all day. Fade away all day, popping that joint. I mean, so, but I didn't want to play sports. I didn't want to play organized sports. I figured I had more control of my life, because I'm just a control guy. I had more control of my life being a musician than I would having to be with a coach running me up and down the court. All right, 3 more, 4 more laps. Hurry up, shut up. When is that? I got enough of that at home. I only need to have that for some sports shows. So when he realized I wasn't gonna not play sports, I wasn't gonna be a doctor, I wasn't gonna be a lawyer, he let me do my music there. So I just go play out on the porch. We grabbed me and my man Joe. I lost my grandmother. She came to visit from my grandmother came to visit from Rennes, Georgia, where my mother was from. Her mother came up. She used to come up like maybe once a year, maybe once every 2 years. And she came up, and that day, me and my grandmother didn't really have a good relationship because she lived all the way in Rennes, Georgia. And all I remember was every time I came down there, she was I'm from Philly. First thing you had to do is go grab a whip off the tree. Like, I just came down here to get whipped on for a whole week. But we go down here for a whole week. I just come down here to get whipped by grandma. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I had no resentment towards my grandmother per se. But it seemed that that's all she was concerned about doing, was whipping my butt, man. Those switches. And it was kind of crazy. But, it wasn't, this is what it is. But, yeah, that was a sad day that, me and she, I think the last time my grandmother came there, she said, can you turn that down or turn it down? My mom came out and said, turn it down, grandma trying to sleep or something or the other. And we turned it down a little bit, so we out on the porch. Because like I said, my house was like it was like Fox Street and Judson. So anybody know about North Philly, Judson Street, when you get to Fox Street, it curves off. Then that becomes Fox Street, then Allegheny, then going up and around the hill, going down there, Hilton and all that stuff. So that's where we live, around the corner, at the corner crib. It's still there to these days. And because we had the basement, that's where the studio was, in the basement. Not then, but we used to rehearse down in my basement because it was right down there. So he came out, and next thing you know, my grandma was dead. He was on the porch playing guitar. My man Joe, me and Joe, we was out there, and people ride by because the street, Fox Street, busy. There's always traffic on Fox Street. We on the porch, just making stuff up, and jamming. All of a sudden, my mom said, something wrong with grandma, something wrong with grandma. I'm like, huh? Something wrong with grandma. So I put the guitar down, and I ran up to the room, and grandma was laying on the bed. So I'm like, yo, I really didn't know what I was doing. I knew I used to see people, blowing the people's mouths, but I ain't know what to do. My mom didn't know what to do. She just called 911. And that was messed up though, because they stole my grandmother's money too, man. They stole my grandmother and my mom, they know how to keep money. My mom and grandmother they was built up top. So they put that money down their bra, and you see that lump right there. It'll be a big giant, you know what I mean? Grandma wasn't nobody take her money. Grandma had her money right there. My grandma used to do that stuff. Come on here, boy. Come here. Come here, put that sister there behind. There were those switches up in Philly there when she came up, so she just tried to find a belt if I did something. But, that's what it was. But it was a sad day that she passed away from a heart attack. But, I don't know if it was from the snuff. I'm not sure my grandmother really smoked or anything like that, but she passed on. So I'm trying to save her, blowing to mouth, but they came and got her, and like I said, my mom was like, where the money at? And they stole my grandmother's money. I hope y'all where you are now stole her money like that. So that was that. So when she passed, I don't know, I think something about that just really, really made me want to play music.
I wrote this song for Shorty sitting out there.
I really, really want to play music after that. You would think it would have been a downer, like, oh man, grandma passed while we was playing music on the porch. That just fueled me even more. Now I really want to play music. So at some point, because my dad had the basement, we had this cutout down there with this dog named Lucky. Lucky was always pooping in this corner. And we couldn't, the drums used to be back in the corner and we used to be out here. And he had a bar, my dad had a bar. That's why he bought that house. Because it was a small house, but it had a bar. So you come down the steps, there was a little bar. But he didn't run no bar, he used to entertain down there. So we used to play down there. So,
I said to myself,
wow, never mind, they give me another memory. But anyway, we go down there and play. So when the people, when everybody used to leave rehearsal, they used to leave their stuff down there, like the drums would stay down there because they didn't want to bring the drums back. Sometimes Wendell would leave his bass, I play guitar, and I think he used keyboards down there too. So when they would leave, I would play the instruments. And that's how I got to be a multi-instrumentalist. Even though when I first started playing, when I first got my guitar, and we was playing the Young Bucks, I still used to always want to pick up the bass and play bass. And my man Terrence had a bass, I picked up the bass, and the first thing I played by accident, children, is a song called and I didn't even know what I was doing, but I could hear it. I heard it. And I'm like, yo, I think it was a Temptation song. It's all right. And that's what I learned. And I forgot how I learned. I only have a guitar pick back here. Okay, man, I got about 1 million guitar picks to storm on the floor around here, and then I have a guitar pick. But I know I picked up his bass, and I was going. And I was like, oh, snap. And that was it, yo. I ain't just want to play guitar. Now I want to play bass. And now, so I play bass too. I'm a multi-instrumentalist. And so yeah, I started, no one just gonna be sitting there wrong all the time. I don't have my basses here to show off, but I ain't gonna get my keyboards. Then my man showed me how to play Summer Madness. And that's what made me start playing keyboards. He showed me how to play Summer Madness. Summer Madness was really, I can't turn it on for you to hear. Summer Madness was really easy. Blah, 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 blah. And I use those chords to this day to make most of my songs. I like them chords. It's a B minor 7 with a E something. I don't know, E flippity flap flap. I don't know how to read music. I don't care. I just make albums. I don't read music. I make albums. So yeah. So that's how I learned how to play on instrumentation at that point. Whenever we all at that point was in Franklin Learning Center, and we used to rehearse. Sometimes we rehearsed down Lonnie's crib over there on what street? He lived right around the corner from Gillespie and Grass. What's that street? We used to rehearse over his crib too. Ron Durant, he lived on the same block. Kevin McIntosh had a mother for a doctor, and they had a pool up there on Phillyena Street, right off the drive. You come to the drive, I think it was Green and Phillyena. Then you make that right, Phillyena. We used to hook you up there all the time. His mom be at work, and we be up there hooking in the pool. You know what I mean? But heaven rest him. I'm not sure if Kenny's even around, but Kenny ran into a little drug situation, and unfortunately, somebody slipped my man a Mickey, and he was still young. Wow, last time we saw Kenny, he was in Moss Rehab. Maybe it was in I had to be after I got out the Navy. So let's say it had to be around, I was 21 when I got out the Navy, and we went to see Kenny. Me, Lonnie, and Jerry, and I think which one went to? Me, Lonnie, Jerry, me, Lonnie, Jerry, Kurt Rock. Kurt Rock passed on. We went to see my man Kenny. Man, I was sad because he wanted to leave with us, but whoever slipped him that Mickey, man, he was hanging out with this guy named what was that dude name he used to hang out with? He had like a creepy mansion. It looked like the Addams Family mansion, and that was right off the Lincoln Drive too. So if you come around Lincoln Drive, you make a left and you go up the hills. It sounds like a big mansion, like 3 floors. Man, he's going there, he'd be all dirty and everything. Billy Shank, that was the name, Billy Shank, and he lived there. And Billy Shank used to do drugs, man. So, which is another fork in the road because when we was at Franklin Learning Center, we used to get high as a kite. Shoot, he introduced us to LSD. It was called blotter back in the day, and you would take a little piece of paper, you take it and put it on your joint. Now again, I'm not worried about any job problems because that happened back when I was a teenager. So anyway, and put the blotter on my now kids, leave drugs alone, yo. It's not even worth it. I mean, for us back then, we didn't know any better. You know, we taking drugs and smoking and mushrooms and all this craziness now. I mean, now marijuana is legal for medicinal purposes, not for you just to go out. But I mean, I don't know. If I had to pick between drinking beer, not now, children, not now, when you get to be an adult. If you had to choose between drinking beer or, you know, your parents might drink beer, might drink wine, or might drink liquor, or might smoke. I'd rather smoke, even though I don't really like to smoke. I used to smoke. I quit smoking. I was smoking for a number of years, and I quit smoking cold turkey in 2009. I think I started smoking cold turkey. Whenever one of my albums came out, I started smoking by that time. No, 2013 or something like that, I stopped smoking. For good. I used to smoke. I used to smoke and everything. And whatever. I was fat, too. I used to be 280 pounds, too. So you can overcome anything, children. Even adults, you can overcome anything. You just got to want to. Now, some people like staying in the place that they are because they're comfortable there. But being comfortable there don't mean that you're healthy. And a lot of people try to put themselves on Facebook and all that stuff. And a lot of them try to act like they look healthy, and they're not healthy. The reason they're doing that, try to show they're healthy, because they know they're really not healthy. And they're going through it, you know. Children, don't do that. Don't be a microcosm of your system. I'm not going to say that's too much big of a word, but for the adults. Don't try to be like somebody who you know is not doing well. Even if your parents. I mean, it's up to you that some children got to take over their parents. I mean, if we get older, we have to do that. Our parents get older, yes, we got to chime in. Like my mom got into her situation, you know, had to put her in, you know, place and stuff like that because she had Alzheimer's, dementia. Bam, then my dad got prostate cancer, but that was quick. That was quick. He was here and he was gone. But I had to take care of him. I had to take him to the prostate cancer examinations and stuff when he got older. I had to take him. He was still capable of doing himself, but I had to, you know, all right, Dad, I go on my swing at a certain time. I'll take you up to the doctor on Sea Line Avenue so you can check your prostate. He got diagnosed with prostate cancer. I think he was 65, something like that. But he lived to be 87. I think what happened was my mom passed away 2 years before my dad passed away, and I think my mom passed away. That was pretty much it. His lifestyle changed. He started doing reckless stuff. You know, started eating places he ain't no business eating because, you know, my mom wasn't there cooking anymore. But, you know, I just told that story to just always know that you're going to have your parents back. Even when you're little sometimes, you'll have your parents back. I've seen some stuff in my lifetime with my parents. You know, mostly on my pop side. And I had to jump in there and try to defend people. You know what I mean? Oh, no, stop. You know, is what it is. So, sometimes you do have to jump in the middle. You know, your parents might be in the middle of something. I mean, you can call 911 because your parents might be fighting or whatever. You know, sometimes you might just have to jump in and stop it, Mom, stop it, Dad, or whatever. Whatever you got to do, you know, you do, but you be careful, but you got to do it. And some children got to live like that. They got to live, you know. Mayweather, I bring Mayweather again because it was just closest to what I can talk about now. And I just saw his dad had a beef with his mother, and his mother brother came over, and Floyd Mayweather Sr. picked up Floyd Mayweather Jr. and put him in front of him so his brother-in-law wouldn't shoot him, and his brother-in-law shot him in the knee. Now, he didn't technically get involved in that, but he could have been shot too. But those are things that happen in families. Now, that's crazy, gunplay. But, you know, things can happen, man. So I've been through some crazy stuff growing up as a child. You know, again, it happens. Sometimes I think about it, and that's why I don't have any children. I would never want to take my child through what I went through as a child. And again, none of it's my mother. I'm not here to talk about my dad, because again, I wouldn't be who I am without my father. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't have been in the military. I wouldn't have did anything if it wasn't for my father. In the military, I went to father. My father started bossing me around when I was 18 years old and told me I couldn't come to my house anytime. You ain't come to my house anytime you want, as you didn't graduate from high school. So then I just went to the Navy. He ain't had to ask me. He ain't had to send me. Oh, that's how we're going to run it? Bye-bye. I'm going in the Navy. And that's how I went to the Navy. Anyway, children, always make sure that you keep yourself smart, accomplished, defending of you and your family the best you can. But don't get in trouble for it. It's not worth it. I mean, who want to be locked behind bars for the rest of your life because, you know, you hung out? You know? I went to jail twice in my life. And I was young when I went there the first time because I was hooky in school. They locked me up. They caught us coming down Broad Street. We got caught around, where we got caught at? me and Keith and Torrance, because we got bad report cards, so we ran away from home, man. Like we got kidnapped. I told this story one day. We got kidnapped. We was on the phone. We went to the market and bought some beans and stuff. And we used to be in the Boy Scouts. So the Boy Scouts, we go to a place called Briar Park. And Briar Park is where you went when we did like the Boy Scout thing. We got the Briar Park, and you spend the night out there. So that day when we hooked in school, and my report card was horrible, man. It was the worst. And I'm not sure how they was bad enough. You're like, man, we're gonna act like we run away from home, and then we gonna act like we got kidnapped, and then our mom and them gonna feel so sorry for us that they ain't gonna kick our butts. Freaking dudes. But that's what we did. And the funny part about it was me, Torrance, and Ab. We called him Ab. His name was Keith. His name was Ab. And yo, we gotta call the house, right? So we're gonna call the house. We call my house. Call the house and say, Mom, they got us kidnapped and whatsoever. And blah, blah, blah. Boy, what you talking about? We kidnapped. Because we hadn't been home. I mean, it's almost like 4, 5 o'clock. We should have been home. Somebody kidnapped us, whatever. Then Terrence called his mom, and then Ab called his mom. But see, Ab got selected to get slapped during his call, right? So Ab was on the phone, and Ab was like, yo, all right, when I say something, slap me. Make it seem like I'm really kidnapped, right? So Ab was on the phone like, Mom, they kidnapped. And Rich was like, bam, and slapped us out of the face. Oh man. Did some crazy stuff as a child, yo. Did some crazy stuff. But look. Okay. You're gonna do some crazy stuff sometimes. Just stay positive and keep pushing and keep having a mother that prays for you. Not a mother that plays with you, but a mother that prays with you. Not play with you, prays with you. Not inside of a church, but next to that bed, getting you down on your knees and saying a simple prayer. Alright? Right? You know the way you say it at night, you just say, and now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Pray for grandmother, pray for the family, blah, blah, blah. And you can say that one right now. We all should say that one right now. But something happens, you do want the heavenly to take your soul. You don't want that other thing, because other thing might come up trying to grab it. Some people want him to grab it. People doing things that let you know that's what they want to do. They want to do that. They don't want to do this. They want to do that. They don't talk about this stuff like that. I'm just saying, you want to be doing that. You want to say your prayers every night, even if you can't say a prayer. I mean, I get on old bucks, I get on old heads still saying, I call them pablum prayers when they're at the table. I'd like to thank the Lord for this food we're about to eat that be nourished for our bodies in Christ's name, amen. What? You still saying prayers you were saying when you was a teenager. You 90 years old. That's about it. You don't do that. You gotta grow up. Alright, so anyway. High school, bam, 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 music. So now when I was in Franklin Learning Center, I ended up being a model. I did some modeling. I didn't really do any acting, but we used to have modeling shows, and my dad used to take care of my clothes. I was the only one wearing wingtips at Franklin Learning Center. I used to go to school dressed. I had my own pants. We got together. Another thing we did as a block when we was youngsters. We was actually maybe teenagers around this time. And we went down, somebody decided they want to make their own pants. I think it was Bill was the first one, wanted to make his own pants, his own clothes. So we went down 22nd Street, in between Clearfield and Cambria. They had a sewing place there. You could buy material and all that stuff. So I'm going to do that. I saw Bill make his first set of pants. I'm going to make me some pants too. So you go down there, you buy the pattern. You have to find out what your size was. You buy the pattern. Then you buy the material. You line the material up on the pattern. And blah, blah, blah. And you make some pants. I made a pair of brown pants. It was like kind of bell-bottomy. But I used to always wear these brown wingtip shoes. I don't know how I got the wingtip shoes. I think I was working doing daycare, I think. I was doing daycare, something like that. My first job was working at a daycare center. And I used to have this little girl, her name was Kia Bell. I'm not going to forget Kia Bell. Kia Bell should still be around now. She's a lot younger than I was. I think when I was 16, she may have been 4 or 5. So, yeah, if I can find a little Kia Bell, I remember I used to babysit you when I was 16 years old. Babysit little Kia Bell. Anyway, you know, like, I think I made money from that. I made money from the summer job because we was hustling papers, stuff like that. You know, we give out papers. I used to do the paper routes. And we got some money, so that's how I probably bought my wingtips. And, you know, I think we probably made some money from performing in them. We used to go to Chicken Coop. My parents didn't know we was going to bars and perform. We used to go to join on 17th in Clearfield, right off Allegheny Avenue. The guy used to be our manager, so we used to play up there on the weekends. Parents didn't know we was playing in the bar. So I think I got some money from that. And we used to play this place called the Chicken Coop down in North Philly, around 20th and something. And we wasn't of age. We was like 16, 17 years old. We playing in the Chicken Coop. You know what I mean? Take us down there. We used to practice up here on 17th and John. That's how I met Johnny Kroom. Y'all know Johnny Kroom is really nice keyboard player, nice guy, everything. Johnny Kroom used to want to be in the band, but he was too young. He was only 14. He's like, yeah, can I be in the band with y'all? I said, no, we already got a drummer. Jimmy was our drummer. Jimmy was like 22. We still like 16, 17. And so he's like, no, you can't play us, man. You too young. You too young. As you know, here, Johnny don't know how to play drums and a keyboard player playing with boys and men now. You should have took him, Rod. You should have took him when he was 14. Anyway. I'm going to show you this book called Boys and Men Up to You. Johnny's in this book. Johnny Kroom's in here. Along with Colt Younger, a guy I grew up with. Because actually, just real quick, to show you how life goes. The band was doing open mic night at a place called Broadnex on 22nd in Clearfield. And one day, the management for Boys and Men came through there and checking out. Maybe they was checking out bands elsewhere too. And they saw the band playing, and they hired them to be Boys and Men band. And that's how Johnny Kroom, Stacy McGee, Fred Holiday on drums. These guys still out here playing. You still go and see them play tonight. They'll be playing at Lou & Choose. Johnny Kroom will be there, Freddie Holiday, the same guys that are in this book. And here they go right here saying prayers. I'll show y'all. Here's them saying prayers. Check this out. I just sent this to Johnny Kroom and whatchamacallit. These guys will be playing down whatchamacallit tonight. That's Freddie Holiday. He's the drummer for Boys and Men. Now I think he's playing with the OJs now. He'll be down Lou & Choose tonight, open mic night. This is Colt Young. He's a keyboard player. I ain't seen Colt in years. He became a Jehovah's Witness, and that was it. You ain't see him no more. And I don't know these last two guys, but this was the band right here. And it used to be a guy named Fred Cooper, but he left. He was a guitar player. He left. And I think Johnny Kroom is probably in here somewhere. That's what I'm saying. Johnny Kroom is probably over here on the edge somewhere. But Johnny Kroom was in the band too. Johnny Kroom, who again you can see tonight probably at Lou & Choose for Cassie's birthday party. Fred Holiday, who played, and Stacy McGee played bass for a little while with Boys and Men. Then he started playing with Lee and all them. But yeah, they'll be down whatchamacallit tonight. I'm gonna take a picture of this and send it to them. Y'all remember them days y'all played for Boys and Men? Oh, all right. Since I got the book out, what I got to do with this book? Well, they was doing a song called "Hey Lover" with LL Cool J, and a friend of mine was down there, and this is an unauthorized book about boys and men. The guy who did this book wasn't supposed to do this book, so it's really unauthorized. I didn't know about it till one day I woke up. My man called me. He's like, "Yo, you famous?" I'm like, "What you talking about?" He's like, "Yo, me and you in the Boys and Men book." I'm like, "Get out of here!" Yeah, remember when LL came by? Yeah, yo, we in the book. Didn't play in a band with him, but I'm in the book with the band. But I wasn't in the band. I was in the studio. Oh, a studio. Let's see, Raj. So let's go through this, and then we'll get back. That is Boys and Men. That's Wanye in the studio with that famous Sony 800G mic. That mic is $5,000 for that mic. $5,000. And they didn't have a vocal booth. They had this big building out in Gladwin. And when they went to sing vocals, like up here was the recording studio with the mixers and everything. And then you had to go downstairs to the booth, and all they did was just a big space, but they put blinders up so they could sing. So they did Hey Lover. This night right here was Hey Lover night. Hey lover, hey lover. Next page. LL Cool J arrives. There's LL. That's my man Ray back there, who was an engineer. I forgot this guy's name right here, but then Ray was the engineer. Of course, there's Sean. There's Wanye. And back in the back is how I got up there. My man right here is Eric. Eric was a DJ and a rapper. He got a job up there just interning, cleaning up the spot whatsoever. So what had happened was, That's how I got up there, through Eric. Another Eric was up there too. His friend, Eric Lattimore. So this is Eric, I forgot Eric's last name, back here in the back, in the doorway, next to LL. And Eric Lattimore is my friend. We used to partner together and do some tracks. So this is in the studio with LL, Hey Lover Night. So I get a call. And Eric called me, not Eric Lattimore, Eric called me and said, yo man, they LL Cool J boy came down and all the samples and everything was on I think all the samples was on an MPC 60. But it was something about the MPC 60, they couldn't record with it, so they needed to somehow MIDI the MPC 60 to the S1100. And people know what I'm talking about, they know these samplers. Just like this MPC 2000 XL. This is after the MPC 60. So he did all his beats. Like I do my beats on that. LL producer did his beats on MPC 60, which just wasn't out there. So he's like, I said, yeah, man, I think I can do it. So I ride out there, we going out there, me and Eric going out there, yeah, cool. Go up the steps, you had to walk up these long steps. And go up there, walk into the studio. Alright? So, this after they did a tape, they had all these Focusrite showing. I always wanted some Focusrite gear. They had Focusrites. Come to find out they leased their Focusrite stuff from this place called Medley Music. I thought it was theirs, they actually leased the stuff. Alright? So that's them talking about the track. Right? Got homeboy there. Right? So Raj, where you at? Well, that's LL right there, right? Now when LL came in, just to give you a point of view, when LL came in, I was sitting down somewhere around this area, so you can't see me. So like I said, the guy was taking pictures. He wasn't supposed to do this book, he was taking pictures. So he was like, all right, everybody get together, let's take pictures. It wasn't even like that. I was sitting down about right here when LL came in. So everybody smiling, LL came through. He had a BMW 840i at the time, which was like probably like $80,000, $90,000 at that time. So he had one of the joints, black joint. I bet that must be LL whip. Oh yeah, there you go. LL Cool J on the tag. That's how I saw the car when we were coming up. So anyway, bam. So I was sitting down. So he walks in, and I'm sitting down like this, right? I'm sitting there like this, and I'm trying to see if I can get this joint to work. Now I'm reading the manual, trying to get the work. It ain't syncing up, dog. It ain't syncing up. I'm trying to MIDI it, but it ain't syncing up for what they want to do. They want to get the samples off here, because the samples is like whatever the drum beat was. It might be that boom, boom, boom. You know, trying to get all the snares off and all that stuff to put on one machine they can control better. So I'm sitting here just trying to figure it out. L come walking in, so he come walking in this way. Oh, what's up, bro? What's up? Yo, what's up? What's that? I found out the lady who actually put that together. I was looking at a documentary yesterday and found out the young lady who actually put that together for LL to collab with Boyz II Men for the Hey Lover song. I forgot her name, but she did a lot of getting people together collab, and I forgot what I was looking at, what video I was looking at on YouTube. And that's what it said. She put together this combination right here for the Hey Lover. Got Boyz II Men to do background, do the hook. So he comes in, so I look up. He's like, what's up, bro? He said, I'm LL. I'm like, bro, I know who you are. Yeah, I know who you are, bro. I know you LL. I ain't LL. And that's when we was right there. He was just coming in. I got to send this to LL. Remember this LL? Yo, remember? Came in the studio. I was sitting there. He was like, what's up, bro? I'm LL. All right, bro. I know who you are. Of course I know who you are. You LL Cool J. So anyway, so we in the lab, bada bing, bada boom, and then we get the track together. I was trying to sync. My job was to sync these two joints together. So you see they had two. They had two MPC 60s. All the sound was on there, but they wanted me to MIDI it up to this S1100 for some reason. And see they got candy on top of it. I didn't know how to do it. I was trying, so I grabbed the book. I grabbed the manual. And everybody's sitting there like, oh man, we don't know what they're going to do. We're just going to have to fly them in. Fly them in meaning while the track is playing, you're going to hit the pad and fly it in. Fly it in. This is the way we're going to work it. Because RaJuR couldn't get that joint to connect. That's how I met Boyz II Men. In the studio. With LL Cool J. Where are you at, Raj? Oh, let me show you. I am right there. That's me. Right there, see? That's me right there in the corner showing my man Eric Lattimore how to play Hey Lover on guitar. So they had an acoustic guitar back there. And I picked it up. You know, it was a real easy song. It was like, Because the guy who produced it wasn't a keyboard player or nothing. It was all samples. So I'm like, blow, blow, blow. It was more than a touch, blow, blow. And I was playing real easy. E minor 7, A minor 7, G minor 7. Easy chords. So I'm back there playing it, right? Now, mind you, I had to be to work the next day. I thought it was going to be a quick session. I thought it was going to be a real quick session, that'll be it. No. Man, it's like 2 o'clock. Mike out there, his back hurting. Mike's sitting on the couch. I'm like, Mike, you know, Mike, remember, Mike had to do the cane. Mike's sitting out. Then his wife showed up. I think she came to pick him up or something. They live in Voorhees, I think. And so I came in. I went downstairs. I think I went to the restroom. I came back in. He was in the lounge. I'm like, yo, you all right, Mike? Man, my back killing me, bro. My back killing me. I'm like, all right. I went laughing. I'm like, oh, dang, dog, that's tough, bro. You all right? Yeah, I'll be all right. It took some aspirin or something. So he just sitting there. So that's how I met Mike. Mike was sitting out in the lobby with the cane because his back was hurting. Well, don't need him to be in the studio crowd with LL's boys. This is LL boy. I'm not sure he's the producer, but let's see. It was 2 or 3 more other people, but that's Wanye, Sean, that's LL boy, but he wasn't the producer. He had another producer. And then there's Eric, and then there's me. That's why I used to dress like a bum. I had on shorts and a dumb shirt. But that's me in the studio with Boys and Men LL Cool J. Had to prove it to some of y'all, because some of y'all think I be lying. Sorry! Don't have to lie about being with Boys and Men. It just don't work that way. So yeah, we was cutting. So when I was playing the guitar, L was like, yo, that sounds nice. I said, you like that? He was like, yeah. He said, yo, I might throw that on the track. Now I'm excited, right? I'm like, yo, I'm getting ready to be on the LL Cool J track, playing acoustic guitar. Holla at your boy. Bars. I wasn't saying bars back then, though. I said bars back then, you're talking about prison bars. So anyway, but that's the whole night there. Well, Raj, what happened? Did you play guitar on Hey Lover? No. Because when 3 o'clock came, I had to be to work at freaking 7 or 8. I was still working for Scepter. Well, I've been working for Scepter 35 years, so you know everything I'm going to show you today with the people I've been knowing in my life, major artists and stuff like that. Oh, that was while I'm working for Scepter. This is not while I'm not working. Boys and Men in the studio with LL Cool J, I'm working for Scepter. Kids, never be discouraged. See what I did? I came from playing the guitar on the porch, my grandmama passing away, to being in the studio with Boys and Men. You can do anything you want. Just make sure it's something that you want to do and you're not compromising yourself. You're not giving up something for it. You're not doing something wrong to do something that you think is right. You don't do that. And have a praying family. Hopefully you have a mother and a father. If you don't, wherever you at, pray. Even when they don't want to pray, you go ahead and pray anyway. Don't anybody pray for you. You can say a prayer, very simple. Thank you, Heavenly. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And please forgive me for the wrong stuff I do. Because I do it every day and every morning and every night. Even after I do wrong stuff, I pray. Because might say I'm a hypocrite, but no, I take it. I take it right there. I know what I did. I'm probably going to do it again. I've done a lot of stuff I should have did in my life, but I'm still here. Thank heaven. Because there's a purpose for me. I'm probably still here just so I can do this video for the kids to bring them up. Who knows? And then more after that. Who knows what Heavenly got in store for me? I'm just to be a conduit and trying to make that transition as I go. Where we don't want to end up as a place that's not going to be conducive for a child to want to follow me. That's where we don't want to end up at, okay? All right, so it's Boys and Men, and I had to leave. So I thought Eric would probably play because I was showing him, he had the guitar, and I was showing what I did. I said, all right, well, I got to bounce, man. Much as I want to be on this album playing guitar, I'm bouncing. See y'all. Nice to meet you, L. I'm out, player. I went on home. So, I think I called Eric the next day. Well, he called me. I'm like, yo, he let you play guitar on that joint? He's like, nah, he ended up not putting the guitar part on there. At least you could have sampled it. At least you could have like, blam, you had to play. You could have sat in the session. But the session was weird. Up in the session room anyway. All you do is plug the guitar and put a mic on it, and everybody shut up. And you could have just played the guitar, or you could have sampled it. Sampled the guitar into the MPC. Bam. Bling, bling, bling. You could have did that. But he said, no, they ain't do none of that. So, but as you can see, I was there. I was still I was going to work. I'm like my pop. I'm going to work. Yo, hello? Let home play it. I'm going to work. I ain't starstruck like that. I've never been starstruck. Because I am a star. Stars are not starstruck. Remember that. Remember that. All you people out there wanting to be stars, you still following stars. No, you are the star. You are the star. You're the star. Okay? And I got another picture I'm going to show y'all too that happened somewhere around the same time. And I got that gig, like I said, I got the Boys and Men meet through Eric, and I got the other one, this young lady here I met through my man Mari Alexander. He was working with this young lady, and so on and so forth. So that's the guitar history thing. I think I skipped over the Navy. Went in the Navy for 3 years. Sailed around the west part of the world. I did 3 years on an aircraft carrier. You know what I mean? On an aircraft carrier. 3 cruises. That's unheard of. And I was going to stay in the Navy, but helping a friend out, I lost my Navy career. That's okay. Still worked out, right? So, and I'm not being in the Navy, I had to work for SEPTA instead. You know, it was like, the Navy was cool, man. It was cool. Every time we went on a cruise, we had to go to Hawaii first. Then like 7 days to the Philippines. We stayed there for 3 days, acting a fool, just doing stuff we ain't got no business doing. And then we go out to wherever we're going. So the first one was the Indian Ocean. We always go to the Indian Ocean. Westpac, always, you end up in the Indian Ocean just floating around, playing war games, waiting to shoot some people if we got to. That's war games. I worked on the aircraft. First, I was just a guy who carried the chains and locked them down, tied them down. Then I got to the point that I could do maintenance. So I was doing maintenance on them in the hangar bay. And then I went to the most important part of the Navy, because I am a leader, and I do important things. Imagine the plane that you're flying on is running out of gas. You're on the way to wherever. And your plane is actually capable of getting gas in the air. So your plane run out, oh shoot, we run out of gas, dog. We gotta get some juice. We gotta get some of that juice. So jet planes, we have what they call a KC tanker. And the tanker, all they do is just fly around in the air while they flip-flapping around in the area. They fly around. If somebody get a little low on the gas or the fuel, then they hook up with the tanker. The tanker brings this thing out, and the plane brings this thing out, and then they hook up. Then the tanker give them some juice. Oh, they take the juice in. Take the juice in. That juice go into the engines, also go into what we call buddy stores. The buddy stores on each side of the plane. Sometimes the plane is small as just one big one in the middle. And that's where the fuel goes in. So, that's the extra fuel tank. You might have 2 little side fuel tanks along with your missiles and all that stuff, right? So, that's what that was. So imagine your plane running out of gas, you need gas, so you gotta catch up with a tanker. The tanker now needs to give you gas. Well, there's a mechanism inside the gas, whether it's your plane or whether it was the jet's plane, that you had to hit the switch. That would send out all the bam and do all the stuff they need to do, and the box was this big. I have a box down here, it's like a perfect example of it, kind of look like it, but it's small. But anyway, the box is about that big, about as big as this little teeny weeny laptop, maybe a little bit bigger. Had switches on it, I worked on those. My man Johnson used to work on, but Johnson was getting ready to leave out the Navy. So I was like, yo, man, I want that job. So the guy was like, since I was down there every day. I got tired of toting chains and doing maintenance on A7Es. So finally, the guy was like, all right. When he leave, I want you down here. Got me down there. If that box didn't work, and you on that plane that need gas, and that box is in your plane, and you need to get that box to make sure you get some gas so y'all can go where you got to go. If that box didn't work, where your plane going? Bye-bye. That's what I worked on. That's a lot of responsibility. That I have pilots' lives in my hand. Because when you up there, you playing war games, you flying around, you ain't really, you looking at your gas, you diving and letting off missiles and bada bing, bada boom. And then all of a sudden you get that warning, beep, 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 beep. Of course, you're going to get it like you might be in like a half, a quarter tank about half. And you get that, you don't get a beep, beep in your car, but you know, you see it. Like my car say, oh, you need to start looking for some gas, fool. My car speaks, so your car might speak too. Would you like me to show you where the next gas station is? Well, they ain't got it in jets. So you might get a little beep, beep, beep. Oh, snap, I need some gas. Now you got to find out where the tanker is. The tanker might be so far away that you might not be able to make it to the tanker to even get the gas. So you got to know where you're going. So you know you need to find out where that tanker is. While you up there playing war games and flying around and having fun and doing acrobatic stuff, you better know where that freaking tanker is. So y'all can meet up. Meet me up on 27th and Moon Street. Or maybe 18th and Starlight Avenue. I don't know, because you might be out there at night. Meet me there. Come get this gas. I worked on that. And I worked on the floater switches inside the Buddy store. So the Buddy store had a floater switch, just like in your gas tank. And it lets you know when the tank is low. If I didn't install that correctly, he could think he had gas or fuel in the tank. So yeah, I'm going to run off this tank until I catch up with homie to give me that good juice. I'm going to use this joint down here as my spare juice. Well, if I didn't put that flow switch in right, it might say, oh, you got plenty gas. Yet they have no gas. I like responsibility. I like going up there to Boys to Men and trying to get that thing working, but it didn't. But I was there. So, but the Navy, yo, $1 million aircraft. I ain't gonna time for this guy. Oh, I ain't got no gas. Oh, snap, what happened? Why ain't the gas working? Oh, the thing didn't work. When I pressed the button, the thing didn't go out. Or the floater told me I had a full tank, but it wasn't a full tank in there. Blah, 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 blah. I got the eject. He out. He pissed off because they had to eject out the freaking jet because Dum didn't put the floater switch on right, or the freaking box. He didn't tie down the box with the protective tie joint. But and now he done lost $1 million aircraft. This guy's floating up in the sky somewhere. That's what I did. And you can do important things like that too. You can do that. Just don't aspire to being a basketball player or this or that. Just do something different. Do something different with your life. Everybody can do that. That's why there's only certain people be basketball players. And there's a rule to how to be a basketball player. There are a lot of people that can play basketball that never got to play in the NBA. And a lot of people are good singers. Then that guy didn't have a chance to write a song or be a Grammy member. I'm a Grammy member and I ain't right for nobody. Don't ever let anything keep you back from what you want to do, children. And even adults. Stop limiting yourself. And stop being muscle grinders and hustle grinders. It's good to hustle and do some things, but do things that are natural for yourself that you can do for yourself. Anybody can go out and buy some Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin go bad, then you broke. Or if Bitcoin go rich, but they ain't taking any skill. Oh, I'm on Bitcoin every morning. Let me see, like it's trending, the Solano is trending, but the Etherol, whatever that is, and then what's the one that's always Bitcoin, whatever it is, they're doing. So you like you on the computer every morning. Like, oh yeah. No, that ain't what you do. You go in the automatic program where somebody manages that for you. It don't take no talent to do that. It take money. You might win, you might lose. It don't take talent to do this at a casino. It don't take talent to do that at a casino. That's not talent. You're here with a talent. Everybody under Yahweh's, Yeshua's, Holy Spirit, green, situational blue, whatever you want to call it, ball of confusion right now, has a talent. You just don't know where it is. So, because you couldn't be a rapper, because you wanted to be a rapper or a basketball player or a dancer or whatever, or the entertainment type stuff, there's other stuff you can be. I mean, a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, whatever that is, forget that. It can be just something totally different. You can be a book writer. There's so many jobs out here you can get involved with. The AI stuff, I stay away from the AI stuff until I really think that's Satan. So I'm trying not to mess with AI if I don't have to, but now they're making you do it. So I use AI to search for stuff. I'm not trying to use that. I'm trying to type it in, but you still got to use it. I think AI ain't number Satan. That's all it is. So again, be careful using that stuff. Might be turning your life over to something you don't know. It's easy to get you just to say, oh, it's AI, it's cool. Yeah, and they come to find out it's something you ain't want to get involved with. So, you know what I mean? AI, mess around and somebody copy your voice and then make it like you say, I want to kill somebody. The next thing you in jail. Well, we saw you. Your picture right there, it came right out of your mouth. Because AI done generated your face and now got stuff crazy, dog. It's satanic. Keep it real, children. Stay away from that stuff. Ask your mom and daddy about that. Hopefully they know that this stuff is not good for us. Some things are not good for us. Some people are not good for us. They're not good for us. You know? So just make sure that you stay focused. If there's something you find yourself you really want to do outside of the normal that everybody else is fighting to do, it takes longer to do. Do something else. Make something. Paint. Create a painting. I don't know. Make one of these. Make some Moroccos. Make some of these. You might make the best Moroccos. Make some of these. Make some Moroccos. I don't know. Here. Manufacture some of these. You know, we can go to the regular be a barbershop guy, which is not regular. I mean, that takes skill to do hair. But, and that's a talent too. I mean, it's a craft, more a craft than it's a talent. But, you want something that you can put your stamp on. I created this. You can't create a haircut. A haircut is a haircut. But giving a haircut is an art. But creating a haircut, besides putting zigzags in your head. And stay away from tattoos. Don't get tattoos. I have a tattoo on my body. You know what my tattoos are? These freaking scars from when I was little. Those are my tattoos. I don't need a tattoo. I got plenty of tattoos I done went through. I got tattoos all over my body. Those are tattoos of life. I'm not putting no ink on your body, stuff like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't follow behind your parents who do that. They walking around looking like a bunch of Looney Tunes with all them tattoos all over their body trying to be somebody they're not. You don't need to get tattoos if you have a life. You don't need to get tattoos if you got something going on with your life. You don't need it. A lot of things you do, even if you're rich or not rich, you do because you're trying to get attention. You're trying to say, okay, I do this for that. But it's just the wrong attitude that I feel. Your talent is what's within this soul. Soul is about right here. Right around where your pancreas is and your liver connect to the kidneys. The soul is right up in here. Something that comes from your soul. Something you created. Not hustling on somebody else. Not somebody else, you got to do this to do that because they doing that so I can get paid from them. No. See, people look at me, you're like, oh yeah, you retired. And I'm just going to, talk about that real quick. You retired, but you're still working for the man. See, they try to act like this is invisible. And that's why I don't pay attention to people like that. You don't do the same thing. If anybody trying to down stuff you do, trying to downplay your stuff, because they can't do it or they're not doing it, because they want you to do something else, don't listen to them. Do what you want to do. If you want to make a beat, make a beat. If you want, you might want to make the machine. You might want to be able to make the new NPC. You might even I don't want to make a beat on it, but you gotta know how to make a beat on it if you're gonna put the thing together. Somebody, Lindrum, his name was Michael Lind, whatever his name is, Lindrum started these machines. Make the machine. You ain't got to play it. You know how to work it, but you ain't trying to get a record deal. You ain't trying to make a beat, but you made the machine. This machine, everybody uses this machine. I told my young boys yesterday. Kanye did mostly everybody's album on MPC 2000 XL. Just Blaze, MPC 2000 XL. Most of your major producers, Jay-Z is not a producer, neither is P. Diddler. They don't produce nothing. They don't know how to work a machine. They don't know how to play a keyboard. They don't know how to do nothing. They sit there, yeah, that's fat. That's nice. While the other producers make the music. MPC 2000 XL, I've been using this for the longest, ever since I stopped using my Atari. Actually, I used to use the Atari 1040 STE. I used to make my songs on way back in the day, like my first album, the 1998 album, Train Line. I made that on Mosaics. I made that on the Atari, and then I moved to the Roland R8 Mark II because they had all the outputs on it. They had the different outputs. I like to have different outputs. So I used that, and then when I read, I think I'll never use this, and I've been using this for years, since 2009 maybe, I don't know. Even before that, MPC 2000 XL. This is a gift from my man. I had one. I sold mine. He gave me his brand new. He started making beats. So thanks to my man Chris. Chris like, yo, man, I ain't doing it no more, man. I said, you sure? Nah, man. I said, oh, I ain't got two. Well, get rid of the other. I sold those when I took his. Chris, real cool guy. Real smart, intelligent guy. He was into music, but now he's more into, that he can just give this to me. Yeah, and some of the stuff down there he just gave to me because the wife wanted out the basement, man. You can have it. I said, bro, I'll just hold it for you in the crib. Nah, bro, you can have it. See? So, and Chris used to be a DJ too. A DJ or a rapper. Yeah, one of the other. My man, Chris. Thank you, brother. keep making tracks on this bad boy. In fact, I did an album with yours. I did the last album with this one right here. So again, Navy, did the Navy, right? I'll tell the Navy story another day when I'm just talking about Navy stuff, because there's a whole thing for itself. We have to travel all over the world. I'll tell you that real quick, right? And I had a band when I was in the Navy too. When we was on shore, I put the band together. We used to play on stages in Lemoore, California. All right, so you would go to Hawaii, and then you would go, first cruise was Hawaii. First cruise was Hawaii, and then Philippines, of course, and then straight to the Indian Ocean. Because that's when the hostages they could kidnap the hostages. We was out there for that. We was out there to, oh really? You kidnapping hostages right now, Ayatollah? And Cass was writing FDI, Ayatollah on the bombs, and signing these names, in case they drop their joint. You know what I mean? They'd drink FDI, Ayatollah. I'll sign them, I'm on that. I'll sign that joint. My man reading all of them, loading up. We helped them load the bombs up on the planes. Oh, I had a good time in the Navy, yo. They having them still here. Almost got blown off the flight deck one time. I ain't see. Here I am, banging this thing all on my clothes, and I got a whole bunch of lint on my clothes. And I got some clothes in the wash. So we gotta get ready to end this. I'm gonna end it really succinctly and really fast. Okay. The Navy thing, okay, got out of that, let's leave that alone. When I got out the Navy, I was still doing music, of course, and I did like a little cassette when I was in the Navy. I got out, I got married, moved in with the sister, started my little teeny weeny studio. Okay, so 1982, 1984. Me and my man Stan and a brother named Wendell. We put the little studio together down in the basement of the crib I was living in with my first wife, and I was doing, ever since then I've been building studios. I'm building my studios, put it that way. You know, but if anybody had any questions, you know, I'll help them out, you know, about building studios. So we did that for a while. We tried to sign some people, try to hook up with Babyface, get somebody a deal. I think her name was Shirley Lights. We tried to get a deal with Babyface, and it didn't quite work out. But my man got a deal with Babyface on the side with Pink. This is Pink's platinum party at Club Ohm from her first album. I was there. I can't find a picture of me and her when I gave her a little pink doggy, and we took a picture of me and her, and I brought this little pink doggy up, because she pink hair, I brought a little pink doggy up. And something else I gave her. I gave her a little pink doggy, and we took a picture together. Can't find that picture. But I think it's probably on my Facebook, somewhere in my Facebook pictures, I'll find it. But yeah, that's how I met Pink, through my man. He was doing some stuff with Pink in a group at the time, and then Pink got picked out the group, hooked up with LaFace, Babyface and them. My man didn't get a chance to do no producing, you know what I mean? Because they didn't want him to produce. Babyface wanted to write all the songs, them L.A. Reid, so, you know, they kicked him out the deal, and from there on, Pink still, you know, stays in touch with him. And one day she was on her way overseas because she was about to go, so I think she was getting out of R&B. I think she was getting rid of her contract with Babyface and them, or LaFace Records. And he's like, well, you know, Pinky ready to go overseas. I said, well, why don't you bring her by the studio, man, and let her hear some of my tracks. She want to take some stuff with her. He's like, all right, I asked her. He said, all right, so he called me the night before. We're going to be there around 8 o'clock to the studio. I wasn't living down there at the time. So I had to leave from my crib. I went down there and I was waiting for him and her to get there. It was crazy because y'all see her now. She was just in Philly. I'm going to send her this picture too. In fact, I sent her a couple of pictures that we took together from way back in the day. She just never acknowledged them, but I sent them to her on her page. So anyway, it did not look like her. Cause one time I got gagged by this guy talking about he knew Redhead Kingpin and he was a fake. He wasn't even Redhead Kingpin. I'm making tracks and everything for this guy. He wasn't even Redhead Kingpin. So when Maury came up and he claimed he had Pink, cause Pink had a bandana on top of her head, cause she would get on the plane and roll. I'm like, oh man, that ain't no freaking Pink. You know, we call her Alicia though. There ain't no Pink. Yo, open the door. I looked at her again, I'm like, man, I don't like Pink. Because see, I only remember Pink from this. The platinum party at Club Ohm with Noriega, all of them was there, man. I got a picture with the boys on the block, whatever that guy is. I got a picture with him. Noriega and them was back in the cut, man, smoking weed, cigars, all kind of stuff. That was a crazy party. And that's how I met Jay-Z. Jay-Z had left. Jay-Z was on his way home. We saw Jay-Z leaving Club Ohm, and me, Bud, rest his soul, Bud and Mari, we saw him walking up the street. So Bud took a picture with him. I don't know if Mari took a picture with him too. I didn't want to take a picture with him because I wasn't starstruck. I had my suit on, I was chilling. So I wasn't starstruck. I was heavy in it too. So yeah, so that's how I got to meet Pink. So she came by, let her hear some tracks. She's like, okay, give me that one. Give me that one, give me that one. And I burned her a CD, and she left with my music. So I didn't work with her, but I was able to give Pink music to take with her overseas to listen to. She might still be listening to that music. She might end up making a track with that music. Boys and Men, Pink. And it wasn't even a struggle to have that done. My man, I was in a position that my man came down. Pink said, I'll come over. She had to come over. She said, nah, I ain't going over there. But she came over. And every time she visits here in Philly, she goes to see my man. She probably over there now. Over his crib, who knows? Well, he probably working. But anyway, yeah, since I got to meet Pink. Then it was the Jill Scott situation, where I met with Hidden Beach. I think I told this story. I was at Hidden Beach, and what happened was, these guys who used to promote Hidden Beach, Jill Scott new album whatsoever, they used to ride around in North Philly with the joint in the van, right? So they used to come to my studio and cut. He'd be the rappers down there. Mel used to rap. The other brother wasn't a rapper. He just, he was just a promoter. So he came down to the studio one night, and we was working on one of his artists. So he was dropping the track, bada bing, bada boom, dropping the track. All of a sudden he get a call on the phone. Oh, it's Steve McKeever from Hidden Beach. He want to know what's that music you hear in the background. Puts me on the phone. Hello? Hey. Steve McKeever. Steve McKeever. Hidden Beach record? Oh, okay. You work with Melanie. Yeah. Cool. Look, how would you like to do a remix for Jill Scott Long Walk song? I still sing that song to the day. In fact, I sung that song last night at karaoke night. I was gonna stop singing it at the Jaguar said something about Jill. I'm like, did she really do that? Was Jill really like that? But now I sing it because I was involved in the remix. So I did a disco remix, and Wu-Tang Clan dude, he did a remix. So mine was the joint you play in the club. Do, don't take, boom, do, let's take, boom, let's take a long walk after dark, boom, let's take. So what they did was, they sent me a CD. One CD had the music. No, it was two songs. Yeah, one CD, one track was the music, that's all the music that they did in studio, and then the other track was just her vocals. So that way I was able to take her vocals out, put it on a sampler. I wouldn't use this at the time, I used another sampler. So that's how I did the track. First I made the track. Boom, because I didn't want to make a hip-hop track. I wanted to be something different. So I wanted to make because you always play a club track, that you're always going to get some play. Boom. So I load up a drum machine, I load up a drum program, I sample all her vocals, Let's Take, On Long Walk, All Around the Park, After Dark. I sample each one of those. I sampled each one of them. You know what I mean? Because I'm not making the song not be there just in case she want to sing over the top of it. So I had to make a TV track, which is everything except the lead vocals, and then I made it with her vocal in there. I synced that up. So yeah, so I was able to do that. I was able to do and I still got the CD around here somewhere. I should keep it up here. I try to keep all my accomplishments up here. But I still got the CD they sent me to do a remix with Jill Scott on Long Walk. And he wanted me to do something with Brenda Russell too. He's like, yo, would you like to do a remix on Brenda Russell's song? And it was called Walking in New York. So we had a couple of walking songs. So he said, you want to do that? So kids, children, adults, you never know when you're going to run into opportunities. You never do. That's why I can claim I'll work with artists, I'll work for artists, I work with artists out there right now. I know artists out there right now working. I can name names all day. You know what I'm saying? So after that happened, and then we're going to end this just to give you a motivational thing. They're like, this guy who used to be a cock addict, walk down the street like that, piss in the bed, piss on himself in freaking elementary school, guy can end up like this. I gotta go to the bathroom now, but I'm sitting here peeing myself. I'm just kidding. It's not funny. I'm just saying. That's what I did. I was just that guy. I was that little young boy, 6, 7 years old, 8 years old. I done went through some hard times. I done went through some dark times. I done visited darkness. You know what I mean? Not Satan darkness, but, you know, I went through a couple things, man. People go through things. They scared to mention. I've been through depressions and stuff like that. Absolutely. I've been in a place I shouldn't even have been. Absolutely. I still worked 35 years at my job, had my own recording studio, Grammy member, 10 albums working on number 11 in my job. And I went through things like everybody else. Children, you're going to go through some things. You're going to go through some things, man. It's going to be, you got to have some negative to keep you positive. If you go through negative stuff and you don't learn from that, you're going to end up in that negative place. A jail cell, or in an institution, or anywhere. You're going to stay there. But if you can learn from going through darkness and feeling that thing like, oh, my life might be over, not suicidal over, but, yo, I just don't have nothing else to live for, man. I don't know what this is. What is this coming over me? Yo, no, use that for a bounce back. See, there's so many people out here trying to act like they ain't never been through nothing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out here trying to act like they invincible, but every 5 minutes they sick. They be on Facebook and what's so, oh, look at me, look at me. 2 days later, they sick. You don't even see them no more for a whole week. What happened? Oh, I was sick. But you was just on Facebook. You was the bomb. You was all that it was, everything, but now you sick. For the 3rd time in a year. Because they never trying to get over. They stay right there. You stay there, you stay getting sick. I don't know what you got to do not to be sick, whatever the sickness is. Hopefully it's not a ailment that leads to that kind of sickness. I'm talking about like temporarily sicknesses things. You know what I mean? If you're going through a dark time in your life, you ain't got to put that stuff on social media. I'm doing it now for the children. You can overcome anything through prayer. When I was in them dark places, I was praying. That's what I was calling Yeshua Jesus. And I was praying. And, you know, angels, things he put around me, my mother praying. I was going through them dark spaces. I was living with my mom for a while. I had to get out of the situation, go live with my parents. Yo, you can still overcome, yo. I'm an overcomer. I'm not a bragger. If I was a bragger, I wouldn't mention all the dumb stuff I went through, all the stupid stuff, all the silly stuff, or the peeing on myself stuff. I wouldn't even say that I'm trying to brag. I'm not trying to brag. Everybody got to have a place to fall. If you're not going to ever fall, you're never going to be able to come up. Some people act like they never fall, but they falling. It doesn't matter whether you're going to get up. Because if you don't get up, you're going to fall again. You're going to keep falling again. You're going to keep doing the same thing all over again. And they're going to be one of the places you don't want to be. Probably forever. And you don't want to do that. Stay positive. Even when the darkness comes. Even me, right now, going through struggles here and there, whatever. Yo, I hold on. But I'm also willing to realize whatever happens is going to happen. If I can make an adjustment, I will. If I can, I can. But I'm not going to sit there and sulk and like, oh, well, this is it. Or try to front like ain't nothing wrong on social media. Look at me, I'm great. And when I go to bed at night, I can't sleep. That's crazy. So stay positive, stay motivated. I can talk about other people that I met in the music business all day long. I can talk about them guys all night. I can talk about Jazzy Jeff. I can talk about Kirk Chambers. I can talk about Wanye. I can talk about all these guys. But these guys ain't putting no money in my pocket. But you know what I did learn? I'm not starstruck. And sometimes they need me more than I need them. Boys and Men needed me. Pink came and got some music. Jazzy Jeff was over Mars Music trying to look for some speakers for the studio while he was cutting Jill's album. Like, bruh, I happened to be over there. I knew his friend. Me and his friend was connecting because we was talking gear all the time. We met at Mars. I was over there buying something for the studio, and him and Jazzy walked in. I'm like, yo, what's up? Hey, Jazz, all right, man. I ain't never met Jazz before in person. Met Jazz, yeah, what's up? Yo, man, we coming over here, they blowing stuff out at Mars. We're going to check out some stuff. Yo, that's what y'all looking for. Jazz like, I'm looking for some speakers. I'm looking for some speakers. I like, bruh, they got a pair of noise back here. They 15 inches. Them joints weigh like 3,000 pounds each. You need to get those joints. They clean. It's one big subwoofer with a tri in the middle. That's where the treble come out at. You know, it's called a tri, whatever it is. But one big speaker, but instead of having another speaker for the treble, it came right out of the woofer. It's right built in to the woofer. I had a speaker just now. I just had like that for my performance speaker. And he bought those speakers too. and he used those speakers on Jill's album. Now, you can see a picture of him doing Jill's album. If you find them doing Jill studio sessions, if you look in there, you're going to see those speakers. Who recommended those speakers? Yo, I don't have to be a star. But sometimes they need me more than I need them. Right? You know, I don't have to play in bands. I don't have to play with all these guys. I got friends who do that. Let them do that. If you want to play with artists and here and there, very successful Randy Bolin, grew up with Randy Bolin. A lot of people grew up with Randy. Playing guitar with Randy in North Philly. Everybody grew up with Randy. Look at Randy now. That boy's all right. That boy doing things, but Randy never put an album out. It's very confusing to me and my man Johnny Kroom, who's played with Boys II Men, all these people, and you never got an opportunity to pitch an album to them. There's just been no way. I would have not. If I'm playing for Kim, who he's playing for now, I said Randy playing for everybody. There's just no way I'm not gonna have a whole song. I ain't talking about just playing guitar on it. I ain't talking about no. It's gonna be my track and Kim gonna sing on it. I am not gonna be playing. That's why I said I never want to play in a band. I want to be like Quincy Jones. I'll make the track, and once I'm done this joint, I'm not producing no more. We're gonna have my tracks, and bands are gonna be playing my tracks. I ain't gonna be playing nothing. I'm gonna be back looking like Quincy. I composed that track. I made that track. I ain't playing guitar on the track. I ain't singing on it. I ain't doing nothing. Somebody else gonna be singing it. Somebody else gonna be performing it. I don't need to be out there like that. You may want to do something. You can do it in the background. Everybody don't need to be forward-faced and stuff. It puts you more out into the point of that you got to really hold up that thing all the time. I like going out and singing karaoke night. Had a great time last night at Jules. Turned the place out. I know how to dance and everything. You might find it on Facebook. Look for Jules on Facebook. You might see these young ladies with like 4 or 5 young ladies. While I'm singing Long Walk and, what I say, anyone who has a heart can look at me and know that I love you. Man, it was flashing like a mother. Stop playing. But I'm just having fun doing that. I don't get paid to do that. I had already said to myself, I'm no longer doing open mic nights, nor am I doing any more freaking karaoke's, because I need to be getting paid for what I do. I'm a professional. I'm a Grammy member. I don't need to be singing for nobody for free. But I'm not that kind of dude. And there's some people I won't work with in the industry. In the industry, I won't attend their open mic nights and stuff like that. But for the most part, if I want to have fun, I'm going to have some fun. Children, the motto of the story is not to keep on going because I want to go too much more. It's 2 hours now. That's enough. Pick where you want to pick. I can't hit the subtitles to make it where you want to go. Just look. If it's not interested, just keep going. I came from cock-eyed to walking like this, to peeing in the bed almost nightly, to peeing on myself in school and all kinds of craziness, to here. Mother, Father, and Heavenly. Only way it's happening. I made bad choices in my life. I ain't gonna say bad. I made some not so wise choices in my life. To this day, I still make some non-wise choices after a while. I think I'm about to rectify that. It will make it real easy for me as a man in life. I need to work that out. Other than that, I got little things I do. But I don't do nothing to the point that I'm making any detriment to anybody. Can nobody say RaJuR did this to him or her? Nobody. If they did, that's because they got an agenda that they upset because maybe I just didn't do what they wanted me to do or something. Maybe you want me to play guitar, I don't want to play guitar. Something like that. I ain't got no time to do that just because I'm making a choice for myself. I don't have to do what everybody tell me to do. I do what I want to do. As long as it's righteous. And sometimes I do stuff that's not righteous. I might act like I'm not righteous sometimes. I might say some unrighteous things. But I don't use profanity. So I done did 2 hours, I ain't said not one cuss word. I know some people can't go a minute without cussing. Stopped smoking. Became a vegan. Used to be 280 pounds, now I'm a little 200. You can do it. If your mama's overweight and your daddy's overweight, don't mean you gotta be overweight. But they're gonna try to make you overweight. I don't know a lot of overweight women who are mothers that are not trying to get their children overweight so they can have 2 peas in a pot. They try to teach them bad habits. Teach them how to eat bad food like they doing. Instead of trying to eat better and showing the children there's a better way and becoming vegan or exercising, whatever it is, to help them to exercise, you want them to be out of shape like you, unhealthy like you, quit with all them stuffs that things supposed to happen to people, black people like you, so you have somebody to have company with. Don't let your mama make you eat food you don't want to eat. If she eats some doggone cheese twists and dibbly doodles and all that stuff ain't good for you. I don't want that. Give me some greens. See, I was fortunate enough to grow up with a mother who cooked at home. Back then, that's what they did. They cooked at home. You know what I mean? So I got these greens and collards and all that stuff. That's all we ate. We ate from home. We had good food back then. Mama went to the market, got the grub, cooked the grub. Dad got home from work. We all sat at the table. Me, my sister, my mother, and father, we ate together. We prayed together. Baba Bing, that's what you want. If you don't have that, ask for it. Ask your mama why she ain't praying. Ask her mama why when we go to bed, why don't we pray together. Ask your mama why when we get up in the morning, if we together, why don't we pray together. Ask your mama. Nobody tell your mama to be a saint. Nobody saying your mama got to go to church every day. I don't go to church. I would never go to the church. I don't need church to validate how I feel about the heavenly. I don't need that. They gonna do nothing for me in the church. But if you need to go to a church, go. But when you leave here, there's not gonna be a church there. It's just gonna be you. And churches don't get you into heaven. It just don't work that way. So if you think you need to be praying and mama don't want to pray, then you tell mama, I want you to pray with me, mama. For whatever it is. Yeah, you just came back from the club twerking or whatever. But you can do what you got to do. Just make sure we down together praying. Because maybe mama will change her mind, won't be out in the club twerking anymore. Or drinking. Or smoking weed. Or showing her body on Facebook. Or doing crazy stuff on social media. Maybe she'll stop doing that. Because you cared about your mother. Because she didn't care about you. Because she didn't care about your soul. Ask your mom about your soul. Ask your mom about her soul. If I say and preach, just ask her, Mama, what's a soul? See if she can answer for you. And don't go for that little 5th grade, everybody ain't perfect. Don't do that. That's an excuse for people who want to do bad. Period. When people say that, that's just an excuse because they just want to do something bad. That's why they say that. They preempt it. If I'm around one person that say I ain't perfect, I'm not talking to you anymore. Because I already know that's because you're trying to have an excuse to do something you ain't got no business doing. If you premeditatively doing stuff, I got some premeditated stuff I do. I don't have no business doing. But I don't be trying to front though. So you as a child, I don't care how old you are, don't front. Be you. Don't be like your mother or your father. You see what I'm saying? I mean, my father was a businessman. You would say, oh, well, you being like your mother, your dad, because you're a businessman. No, I'm not being like my dad, though. I'm not being like my dad's personality. I'm being like something that he did that I liked. Mother. My mother and father smoked. Dad started smoking first. Mom started smoking second. I stopped cold turkey about maybe 15 years ago. I stopped. Those are the things you want to follow. Don't follow that negative stuff that your mom and dad, you on Facebook, you on there, you're gonna business on there, but now the kids got phones now, and you look at your mom page, your mom, every time you see it, there's a picture with her looking down, got her boobies showing out all the time. Or she's somewhere showing her boobies. And that's all you see. Stop looking at social media. Don't even, just unfriend your mom from your social media, no matter where it is. If your mom don't have enough sense to dress right in public or on social media, then unfriend your mom. So you don't end up doing what she's doing. Or your father. You, no matter how young you are, have a decision as to how you would like to live your life. You may not be exactly how it turns out. Fortunately for me, I crafted my life to be where I am right now. And I have more coming. Heaven willing, I have more to do. But don't ever lock yourself in. Even if you pee in the bed. Even if you got a cross eye. Even if you walk like this. Even if you have some kind of disability. Don't ever stop doing what you got to do. For you. That's good. And if you do something good and somebody tries to say it ain't good, don't listen to them. If you do something good, they try to bring that down like, oh, that ain't nothing. You ain't doing nothing. Don't listen. Those people want you to not be good. They want you to stay down with them. Never let somebody tell you something. If you're doing something that you know is good and is nice and it doesn't hurt anybody and you're doing it and somebody else come in your life and say, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. Don't listen. I mean, you just can't move out your house because you live there. You're too young to move out. But you can say, no, I don't want to do that, Mom. No, I want to do that, Dad. I don't want to use profanity. I don't want to use bad words. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to drink liquor every day. I don't want, whatever you see that they doing that they're not supposed to be doing, don't do it because they do it. Be the adult in your family. You could be an adult at 3 years old. And maybe you could change those people around you and say, but Dad, you know, he had a point. He 3 years old and helped me stop smoking. He 3 years old and helped me stop drinking. He 3 years old, he said something that just touched my heart. Even at 3 years old, you can influence an adult. Don't ever quit. That's all I got for y'all. I'm doing another video later. It's about something else. Dream. Look for it. Go through the darknesses, because you are. Come out. Pray first and foremost. Believe what you pray. Don't try to be a millionaire. You don't need to be rich. What you need to be is living for your soul, for the heavenly, and helping people. That's all you need to be doing. If they tell you you're not doing it, don't just ignore them and keep doing what you got to do. People been telling me I couldn't do stuff for years. I just gave you my resume. I ain't got to tell you nothing. And I did this about working for a company for 35 years. I know people can't keep a job for 4 days. 35 years plus. And still put out 10 albums. And still became a Grammy member. And now I'm a chauffeur. Now I'm going to work with children like you. Look, do it. If it's positive, do it. If it's negative, don't do it. The best you can. Again, I still do negative stuff from time to time. And I know better. But I'm trying to get better. Alright? Take care of yourself, be well. Having put this on my heart, because I start talking about kids, and I always want kids, like I said, or children to come up here and work with me. If I can't get anybody, parents, to want to bring their child up here to learn anything, because, you know, the child want to be a rapper, or the child just want to do something else instead, or want to be on social media, whatever it is, just know my services are here for you. Say, Mom, where Mr. RaJuR live? Can I go up his house and learn how to, you know, make a beat? Or can I go up there and learn how to move these knobs? Can I go up there and learn how to turn this? You might not want to write a song. You might just want to have a little studio. You might want to do something. But you want to do something. Tell Mama you want to do something. And if it ain't me, it's somebody else. As long as you're doing something positive. I got to go. Talk to you later. Be well.